Hello, everybody, and welcome to our stream. This is session 9 of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We're playing the Adventure Path Age of Ashes. We're nearing the end of the first book. I kind of want to just jump into it. Last session we had um, combat was just about to start. We saw some ominous crap happen. First, I want to introduce our characters. I don't know if you can see the map. I'll go ahead and share a screen. Um, let's start with Spence.
Hey, I'm Spence. I live on the internet, and I am playing Monica, who is a halfling ranger rogue combo. And
Yes.
my last position was uh, catching Rune as he was falling and telling us that there were things on the way.
Yes, and there are things on the way, as far as I know, but I'll keep you posted. How about Alex?
Oh man, hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm coming back for Pathfinder. Yeah, I play the Director, a gnome bard. He is the best playwright in the entire world, according to him. So, yeah, excited. You can find me here, and I'll just stop right now. I'll tell you later. Yep.
And Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen. I am playing Reka, who is a lizard folk druid. And on the last episode of this show, she sort of rolled with participating in a ritual, and then somebody died, and now she might be this goblin god. I don't know. It's cool. So,
Go-
let's all be casual and, become gods. It'll be fine.
Goblins have a wonderful system of government
Yeah, it's
that just
great.
doesn't make sense to our mortal minds.
Yeah.
How about Mr. Smith?
So, I'm Mr. Smith, play Rune Ravenswood, who found himself stuck inside enemy territory after a cave in because he wasn't paying attention. After scrambling through a series of tunnels, he found his way out, only to awaken cultists within.
Yeah. And last but not
And
least,
I believe we're all tapped.
yeah, you guys are all tapped. I'm gonna get to that though. Mitchell?
Yeah, hey, I am Mitchell. Yeah, and I'm just excited to be here. I'm gonna be
You're
playing
definitely here for
Enzokule in the back. Definitely going to survive this session. Not opening any doors, so excited.
Yes. And I am Ian. I'm the game master. You can find me here every single Sunday because we have a 100% success rate at running on Sundays. Just kidding. And every other Monday, you can catch me playing Colt with most of the people that you see here in this window. It's super fun. I love it. It's interesting seeing how dark and twisted Mitchell's story can get, but no limit so far. I want to thank Smiteworks for Fantasy Grounds. We're using Fantasy Grounds Classic for this stream. I think we're going to switch to Unity soon, which if you don't know the difference, Fantasy Grounds Unity is basically an updated client using all the same data from the classic client, except it also has server hosting. So it's easier to get started and it's also free to start. So I would highly recommend you go to fantasygrounds.com and download the client and check it out. It's super nice. It's the best virtual tabletop you could use. Also, shout out to the Only Sheet. You see Mr. Smith with Rune. He's managing his character using the Only Sheet, and it's super nice. You need Microsoft Excel, but it's not that expensive, and it automates a lot. So highly recommend. And then also a shout out to Michael Gelfi on YouTube. He's making music, the ambience that we're using. He makes videos at least 2 or 3 or 4 every week. And it's like hour-long loops of ambience, free to use, super nice. And I think you'll hear a lot of them tonight. So I want to pull us in. It's pretty late. I think we're in the evening. You guys are in the basement of Citadel Alteran. Rune has emerged from the newly cleared vault. You see The druid goblin has been solidified, turned to stone as he absorbed everything in this cataclysmic ritual that cost him his life. And suddenly, so these goblins that I have lettered here, they look up to Reika because she took over the ritual. And in a way, she's inherited the power of commanding the nature magic. Obviously, it doesn't mean much for goblins necessarily, because sometimes it just means you're the guy who dies. You're kind of the fall guy, I guess. It's safe to say that all of you are pretty much beat to crap. But the thing is, your goal is so close. You can practically smell it. Just down the hall, you can hear the glowing, magical sounds. Almost sounds like the sound that enchanted runes make, like that ringing, permeating through the air, and the purple light bouncing up the stairwell, and croaking, roaring, maybe war drums, or creatures, cultists pounding on soft surfaces. There's a lot of anger there. What do you guys want to do?
Survive.
Yeah.
Rune, you're very heavy. Can you bear your own weight now?
Hearing the croaking from below, he gets his wits about him and scrambles somewhat to his feet to get up the stairs to something more solid and protective.
Oh, croaking below. I know several stories that are associated with this sort of croaking.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Okay.
I will
We
turn
have to
to the
defend the-
goblins.
Yeah, we have to defend we have to stop them. Like, it doesn't matter if they get to it first, everything is lost.
I guess I'll give some kind of inspiring speech to my people.
No, that's all you're supposed to be my job. I'm supposed to be able to do that. But unfortunately, I've got nothing left.
I'm all out of inspiration, guys.
Oh, wow. This is all a really crap story. No, this is all fine. This is fine. But
Okay.
yes, if you would like to do something, I have stuff for combat. But...
Great. Friends, remember how you overcame your oppressors not weeks before now. You are now called to defend yourselves, your clan, and your allies. We fight together to survive. Because we cannot flee here. They will only come back. We must survive, and this is our citadel. No one will take it from us.
Well, I think to be clear, retreat is definitely an option. I mean, there's plenty of land outside of the citadel and property.
Withering stare from the smallest creature here.
Estates and such like. All I'm saying is, Monica, I really enjoyed your speech.
Cool. We don't have the time. We need to defend the artifact.
Okay, I just want to make it clear to those who are around that this isn't something that you have to do.
It's been made clear. Yeah.
It's just a castle. Your lives are so much more important. So.
You need to defend the relic. I guess. So are we underground right now, or
Yeah,
are we...
so you're in the basement of the citadel.
Okay,
currently.
and then, like, is it behind us? Is it in front of us? Like, can we set up a choke point sort of situation?
Yeah, and as you look towards the staircase, you can already see the shadows of figures as they march up the stairs.
Oh my.
Monica is giving her speech to these goblins, trying to rein them in. They look like they want to flee. They are absolutely terrified.
Yes, they should flee. Dear Lord, this is quite an endeavor.
Yeah, they've lived a long time avoiding encounters like this, so it seems like a bit much for them.
Yeah. What was the name of the NPC that died?
Moth.
The
Druid?
goblin druid?
I
Yes.
believe the druid's name. I would like to think his name was Growl.
Okay.
So
Yes,
are we?
It was Growl.
Is the
Okay.
goal to? Okay, are we? The goal is to keep the goblins that are here with us so we can protect them, right?
Well, they're not exactly defenseless.
Yeah.
I
It's more that there has been a cult that woke up,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to play tower defense right now
The tower.
because
Yeah.
the thing we want is like behind us, and if they get it,
Yeah.
they're the bad guys, and that would be probably bad.
The croaking becomes louder, and you can hear the fist now pounding
Okay.
on the side of the staircase.
All right.
Um,
So yeah, Reiko would just be like, do not let Grau's sacrifice be in vain. Fight with us. Fight by our sides. And she would just fucking go to set up a choke point.
Yep.
Yeah, and so by the time you've communicated that and you've turned
Yeah.
around, you all will realize that the cultists have found this floor.
Mhm.
You all can do initiative if you would like.
Okay.
I can roll them all for you.
Yeah, you roll them for us. I don't want to
Yeah.
roll stuff. What is
Yeah.
this?
What is this?
Miss-
A tabletop game?
Yeah.
Can I give a quick command to Aldonis to just stay at the back and not let anything that's not us leave? Like to act as rear guard,
Yes,
because that makes things less complicated.
right.
Okay.
A boggard emerges up, followed by a charuka, and then another boggard, and another charuka. Once they have filled the room, making a formation, there's 4 of them, a much taller, muscular charuka emerges. And he glares.
Greetings.
God. I hate you.
He looks up. He's about 8 feet tall, and he looks directly at Enzokule.
Hello.
Piercing, platinum
Yeah.
colored eyes and black makeup. Looks like coal and ash.
My, if you don't mind, you are quite, you strike a very intimidating, posture there.
I feel like Reika is like greatly wondering how the fuck he survived all
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, I lean forward and say to Reika, he's gonna get himself killed.
That's my hope.
Oh my god.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Oh my god.
He lifts his hand, and you see this sinister-looking spiked gauntlet claw. It appears to be made out of bone, with some scales, and black wispy smoke is constantly materializing and floating up.
Oh,
And he
is
points
that
it directly at Enzokule.
is that rhino bone? That is quite extraordinary. Or maybe elephant.
The Akuje.
Yes.
He can be your first concession.
What does that mean?
Okay.
What do
Bring
you
him
mean?
to me.
Okay.
Concession?
No, we're not going to give up members of our group.
Now, hold on. Let's see what the young man wants to do with me. Now, Mr. What is your name, sir?
I am Malurunk.
Malrunk. Well, it is truly a pleasure to meet you. My name is Enzokule. I'm currently a freelancer right now. What is it you want with me? And might I inquire? I see you have that axe there, and you have the claw, and
You
definitely.
can speak Draconic.
Can I, Ian?
Yeah, I can.
All right. Can the director?
Ooh, I don't think I can. Hold on. Let's see.
Malurunk has switched to Draconic. It is the only thing that his minions seem to be speaking.
Oh.
And he looks at the minions and he says, "Well, that's it. It's all the common I know."
Well, I know
do we do
Draconic,
with
so you know it's I learned it from my friend back in the city before. We were kind of doing a Duolingo type thing, you know, just kind of translating different signs and such as we saw. So if you'd like and more comfortable with this sort of speech, I would very much welcome it. It's been some time since I've spoken Draconic. Is my dialect right? I know there's kind of like a into some of the words, and I'm not sure.
Silence! He
Sorry.
slammed his axe down on the stone.
I have
This tongue is not for vermin.
what?
Bring me the kuje.
So,
I
so
will
first,
start to step forward, I guess.
can I? Well, Draco puts a hand on your shoulder. Can I speak Draconic? Like, I don't.
Yes, you can.
Okay, because I still only have like common listed on here.
Yeah, I meant to update it.
okay.
I'm sure. Yeah, I would have given you Draconic
Yeah.
first.
Cool. So Reiko would just be like, "What do you want with him?"
You don't understand. Yakuje are no friend of the Cinder Claws.
Wait,
Why-
didn't?
Shut up, Master.
Oh,
Why do you
that's-
say this?
I love you.
What happened?
I'll give you one more chance. Give him to us.
I mean, if you promise not to kill me, right?
I-
Help
He
us
starts
to
to fume.
understand.
You can't tell if you're imagining smoke coming out of his ears and nose,
Yeah.
or if it's just.
I will turn
Your
back
rage.
to the goblins and draw my bow. Kind of like giving them the hint, hey, you should probably draw your
Yeah.
bows.
Yep, they start to march
so-
forward.
Reiko would be like, "We don't need to have this end in more bloodshed. Help us to understand where this grudge comes from."
It's quite a bit of animosity, and it seemed aimed at
Yes.
me. I'll take a few steps forward with my hands raised. Look,
Yep.
I'm unarmed.
And one of the boggards comes up with a little spear. Some boggards are actually extremely small, by the way. Like,
Oh, well,
pretty
hello.
like gnome small. Point,
Hello there, little
point the
bogger.
spear
Not
up
that
at your
small.
chin
Hi.
to prevent you from looking down on her.
Oh.
She taps you with the spear so that it pushes you up, your chin
Oh.
up. Just-
Excuse me, this you know, I had an injury on my back a couple of years ago, and it's kind of difficult for me to lift my head in this manner for an extended period of time. Can you lower your very pointy
Reiko
object?
wants to get this character killed.
Reiko's just like face palming here, like, "Oh God,
Um,
I don't have enough words."
I mean, can't we talk about this? I have some elderberries as well as some biscuits left in my pack.
Wow.
Oh my God. What?
Perception to sense motive of the enemy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, do
Malorunk
they
is
mean
gonna
to
say-
kill me? What's going on here?
Malorunk says, Heroic, grab him.
Okay.
And we're going to count this as a surprise round because Enzokule was being Enzokule. That's a tongue attack.
I'm being
Uh,
licked.
19.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Oh God. Yes.
Enzokule, you're grabbed.
Oh
The tongue goes and it pulls you.
my! What a marvelous bit of anatomy you have there. That is quite fantastic.
Oh my God.
Things you can
Uh,
do with it. Is this
First on initiative is Rune. So your perception check.
hygienic?
He is being very straightforward. If you're trying to sense motive, he's trying to, I guess, dominate in the most general sense. He's trying to take control of just everything that he sees right now.
All right. So Rune will begin to whistle a very haunting,
You actually all see that.
a
Everyone
very
can see it.
haunting tune. As the notes come out of his lips, they begin to glow with arcane energy. As everyone around him feels a little drowsy, but are able to shake it off. However, all 5 of them, because it's a 5-foot radius burst centered on the center guy,
Well,
have to make a save.
oh man. Okay. And what kind of save is that?
That will be a. Where's my?
If it's sleep,
It's a
probably
will save.
All right.
Good move.
So I think I can. Hold on. Let me target. See if I can make this work.
Oh, I see. Oh, good. All right. So Yash in the middle has had a critical failure.
Critical failure.
Yep.
Creature falls unconscious.
Wow. Okay. All right. Who's next?
Looks like
All of them have to make the save, but I'll target each one.
Yep.
Remind
it
me
calculates.
how you target again.
There's a couple ways to do it. The way I know is that on the combat tracker, I think there's a little target icon, which is like a little reticle or crosshairs, and you
Okay.
can drag it onto the map, I think. But that's just how I do it as a GM.
I accidentally
All right.
targeted one back again.
Oh, that's
Did I
fine.
hit all 5?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay.
Retry
One
fails.
has already failed, so.
All right, everybody's failed except for Malarunk.
So regular failure, they fall unconscious for 1 minute unless they are touched or attacked. The critical failure, that dude is out for an hour.
Okay. All right, so 4 body. Actually, you take it. You take it from here. Tell me what happens here.
So Rune begins to whistle, and just as the tunes begins to leave his lips, Corvus flies in, and everyone sees this magical energy course across his wingspan as it leaves Corvus as he comes to a landing on Rune's shoulder. This is Rune draining magic energy from Corvus to cast the spell again. At which point the notes begin to flit across the ears of all 5 of them, and immediately their leader, I believe is Yash, the center one, crumples. You're muted.
Sorry about that. It's Malarunk in the back is the leader. The 4 in the front are all out.
So he watches all of his compatriots just crumple to the ground.
All right.
As Rune stands up, let us negotiate how this is actually going to happen, shall we?
Enrico will translate that into Draconic.
Oh, he'll say it in Draconic.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had that.
And I will translate it into Goblin and lower my bow, but still keep it at the ready to be drawn up again.
I'm gonna start examining this tongue. This is fascinating.
Of course you are.
As you just pull it off of you.
Yeah, I'm like getting my magnifying glass out.
Sure, like he's also like licking it, like.
That's gross.
Why don't you explain to us exactly what your grudge is?
He looks down at his minions. He gives the one in the center a kick, and it doesn't move. He tightens the grip on his battle axe, and he says, "My mission doesn't concern you. This is my castle."
Oh.
Actually, according to the deal, this castle belongs to me.
And he's going to step forward a bit, and he's going to put a foot. He has what do you call a foot that is basically a hand, like a
He has
prehensile.
opposable toes.
He has opposable toes. He has a very handsy foot that grips
Yes,
his
handsy
friend,
feet.
so he can crawl over him. And And he picks up the axe like he's about to throw it at you. And then in a flash, you see the formation, a crystallization on the wall. He looks over, and it spikes out, solidifying until it meets the other wall, 15 feet, about 20 feet across, because it's at an angle. It looks like glass,
Oh, hey, it's that.
but it's solid ice.
Looks like that ice wall again.
Oh, crap.
Oh no, what happened to the tongue?
Yeah, that one's actually on the other side.
Okay, good. I'll just kind of like carefully wrap it up and put it in the guy's mouth.
Boone, you hear her before you see her. You know the click of her boots at this point, especially when you were trying so hard to avoid her. But somehow when she turns the corner, it's still just so surprising, especially considering how far you traveled to get here.
I will move in front of Rune.
Yeah, and I thought I'd managed to keep you away from this.
Who?
You, Yaz.
Malorunk looks and sees Vaz, grabs her with his claw by the throat and pins her against the wall.
Oh my dear.
He's never met her. Not once in his life.
Hold
And
on.
Nope. Let this happen.
Well,
Let this.
Fight! Let them fight! Let them
the
fight!
feet now are hanging as she's pinned against the wall, and you can't hear her from this distance because the sound doesn't travel so well across the ice, but she's whispering something to him as her face starts to turn blue.
Madam, if you drop the wall, I can help you.
He points
She's
his
making a
axe
deal.
at
She has access to
Enzokule,
the gate.
and he looks at Enzokule, pointing his axe, and he says, "Shut up!"
Yeah.
Turns back to Vaz,
What?
and then shoves her on the ground.
Oh my.
Walks over to the statue of the goblin Growl and just smacks it and just shatters it into pieces as it scatters across the floor. This place suddenly looks like it's full of rubble again, even though it's not.
Oh
Yeah, no, I think that's.
And then
a
he
last
picks
straw.
up Vaz by the robe, picks her up, and he walks back into the stairwell.
Shit.
Shit.
Well, that's quite.
Rune
unfortunate.
just kicks the ice wall.
A small
Well-
crack forms.
We know that it takes 10 minutes to dissolve.
Huh.
We
We have
We should tie up the people first. We should tie up these guys that get them secure so we
We
know
only
they're
have
not.
access to one of them.
The rest are it's like completely sealed.
Yeah, if you kind of look at the map, there he's made some weird.
Lines.
It
Okay,
is
I
a-
didn't know
it
if we
is
couldn't get like above
a
or
full hallway.
under it.
Nope,
Okay.
just a
Well,
full
then, yeah.
blockage. Helba and Gasha start to tie up the one boggard
Okay.
that's on your side of the blockage. Helba turns to Eureka and says, "Those stairs go up.
Okay.
It means we can go in."
Let's do it.
All right. Our adventure begins.
Gasha picks up the boggard and starts dragging her somewhere.
Gasha, if he misbehaves, feed him to Aldonis. I say in Goblin.
Well, we need to know what information he has about this feud.
Gasha tells another one of the goblins, "Feed him to Aldonis," and then looks at Monica. If he misbehaves.
Yes.
I mean, the Cinder Claws, back when I was a young elf, came to wreak havoc upon my village, mostly wiping out everyone except for myself and maybe a few others.
Are you dense?
No, why?
Clearly they were going to kill you,
Well, yes, obviously.
and you walked into it.
Well, I like to think that maybe we can talk about things. Why did
they want to? What is the basis of this grudge? What
Oh
happened?
man, so long ago, my mind befuddles me. And
We have to, before
to
we
go.
get into lore,
Yeah.
are we going to go or are we going to rest? Because
well, I'd like to make sure that Miss Vaz is okay, so I suggest we
I don't give a shit about her.
we follow
Um,
along.
Yeah,
Fine.
I'm gonna look to Rune. Yeah, and like do they have access to the gate yet? Is that what?
Yes, that's how she got here.
Ah, damn
That's
it.
how I got here.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, actually, this might be a good opportunity for Rune to explain why. So a couple of details for you all. You don't have to keep this window open for long. So Breach Hill is about 10 miles if you count the zigzagging road that is climbing up the mountains to get to Citadel Terran. It's about 10 miles from Breach Hill to the Citadel. And it's also about 10 miles from Breach Hill to Guardian's Way. But the way that it's triangulated, Rune was 6 miles from the Citadel last time you saw him, as the Corvus flies. So how did he get here? He was in a cave 6 miles away, blocked. Suddenly, Vaz and Rune emerged on the other side.
So can I do like a survival check or medicine check on Rune just to like make sure that he's not bleeding profusely or anything?
Yeah.
Not at all trained, but like
Yeah. The director is going to be interested in like, yeah. So, kid, explain. How did you manage to get from where we were to here, and Vaz do the same thing? How did you escape her?
Well, to be completely honest, I have Corvus to thank for that. As he pats Corvus, who just caws. Suffice it to say, I was able to remain invisible for a period of time and poke around and see what she had. There was a creature there, insectoid, arachnid of some sort. It's where all of the spiders came from in front of the cave. At any rate, I waited a bit, was able to take a few things, one of which was a map. The map led to, or at least the map was most of what she had scoped out or scouted out prior. I used that and a bit of magic to worm my way through the tunnels. It was not kind or easy by any stretch of the imagination. Through some luck, I found my way to the gate. I used it, and I'm not quite sure how. But I'm here, and it is right downstairs. That's how she got here. I'm actually very surprised. I was hoping maybe the map would keep her from catching up so quickly.
I'm pretty excited to meet or see. It was an elf gate?
Yes, an elf gate.
Ah, that is pleasurable. Oh man, I'm really excited about this.
Okay, so what do we know where, apart from Vaz's little sanctum, do we know where it leads? Like, do you just decide where it goes? How does it work?
History of the elf gates, they were effectively trade routes, very quick ones. So as long as you knew where two elf gates were, I suspect you could connect the two of them. Right now, I only know where two are. This one and the one I came from. It is possible Vaz knows others.
So it is possible that the Cinder Claws can lead an invasion in here if they gain access to it.
Well, I think
it is possible they could lead an invasion into anywhere there is an elf gate. These things are old. Cities have been built over them, likely.
Yes, transportation devices used and created by my people. It's kind of ironic to hear a human speak of it. But nonetheless, it's also a gateway to something deep and dark, and something that we put away a long time ago. It's something that people like myself stay alive in order to combat and to die against.
Wait, there's something really bad at one of these elf gates, or?
It's contained within the essence of the elf gates, or at least the stories say.
Are you implying that the elf gates don't necessarily teleport you, but they traverse you through some place?
Sure. It's been some time since I've seen one. But I'm more so, I guess, concerned about I believe the Cinder Claws are someone who desperately wanted to see the return of this great darkness.
So let's stop that. How do we do that?
Can we destroy an
You
elf
can
gate?
hear,
Yeah, it's good.
as you look forward beyond the ice, you see, you don't get a very good look at the hallway, but a couple of creatures heading up the stairs, not down, because it is a two-way staircase. And where one way leads to, allegedly, Alcetta's ring, the other way leads to right next to the courtyard upstairs.
Oh,
Oh, what creatures are
I
they?
thought that stairway led to where we're at now.
So that stairway was collapsed for all 3 levels. It starts in the basement you haven't seen. It leads to this basement, then the main floor, then the battlements. And the battlements collapsing.
Did you see Voz and what's his name went upstairs?
They went down, but then you are seeing now a couple of creatures going up. As they
Rune runs.
Okay, yes. Anybody
Alright.
else?
Follow Rune.
Yep.
Going. Okay, as soon as you see this attack,
He sends Corvus out ahead of him to see what's going on.
A couple of these guys are just, actually more than a couple, I'd say maybe a few dozen at a cursory glance. Corvus will tell you, pouring out. Nobody was prepared. There aren't very many goblins in there. And as you guys actually come out to behind the citadel, it's the citadel surrounded by mountain, and this secret entrance that you came from connects to the mountainside. So you don't see the beautiful view over towards Breach Hill. You just see the shadow, because you're between basically a cliff and the citadel. And what you see is a couple of the doors and exits in the back to the citadel. Some of your goblins are already being pushed out. They were taken by surprise. And for every group of goblins that are pushed out, the gate shuts. You see boggards and some Charakas as they laugh and taunt the goblins on the other side. They don't look to be killing any of them, though. Emerging from the far side, you see Jacob Crow holding Shavi and Brintaith as they flee. With them is Demiriel Tolsha and Tooth.
Oh, good. She survived.
As they pour out. Yeah, they're going to meet you in the middle of this field between the secret cave entrance and the citadel. Just about everybody's out of breath in a panic. And Bryn's just going to say, okay, where do we go? Oh, shit. Dude, what's the plan?
Well, we can either go after Voz and Malarunk, I think that was his name, or we can fight the mass of grossness that is here and see what happens.
Both options won't work. We don't have the resources to take them on here, and they're effectively blocking the access to Voz.
Bryn's going to say, we're outmatched in this one, friends.
We can't leave. We can't keep Shavi here.
We can make it through the elf gate, though.
We
then
need to
at
get the
least we
horses
can
before they
regroup
claim them.
somewhere.
We can't make it to the elf gate to regroup somewhere.
I'll say to Bryn, yeah, go get the horses, and if you see my work, to tell him that I'm waiting.
She'll unsheath her rapier. Demiri and Tooth will bolt with her. They're going to start to get the horses. You guys hear...
So we'll take a quick status check. Did all the goblins escape?
It looks like it. Most of the goblins were downstairs with you, so they escaped just by coming up
with us. All right.
The few that were left managed to run out when they heard.
And effectively, the citadel is getting overrun with cultists.
That's what it sounds like. They have a really good way of making their efforts seem far more momentous than they are, because there's probably not so many of them. Only so many of them could actually fit down in the basement, but something about it sounds overwhelming. Your brain wants to tell you there's hundreds of them up there chanting and banging on drums, but I mean, likely it might just be a dozen or two.
Rune,
Yes.
that contract that you have for this place,
Yes.
See them emerge from the battlements as well.
is there any is there any stipulation of help should invaders come to the Citadel?
I would ask Reika that.
Do you
Make a
want
check. Legal lore.
Oh boy.
Like it's something with a demon, right? So maybe
Yeah,
the
but it's
demon.
it's only about ownership of the piece of paper and how it grants you ownership of the Citadel.
Can I assist with
Ultimately,
the
it all
lore
depends
check?
on whether you can defend the Citadel.
No, Eden?
Reika, you know, these diabolical contracts are made to do the opposite. It's supposed to be with as few protections as possible, because they like to see the madness that ensues when people struggle for power.
Oh boy.
It's basically bound to someone's heartbeat, so it's almost begging for people to come and try to stop that heartbeat.
You need to live.
It's, I mean, it is well protected within a scroll. These
Yeah.
things can go missing for a long time. It went missing for many decades, just before Rune found it. So theoretically, these guys aren't smart. You'd be okay, but yeah, they don't necessarily seem like they know what they're doing. Many of them are coming up on the battlements, climbing over them. I mean, on top of the Revlons, and that's not useful, but they like to feel big and tall. Some of these Charcals are pounding on their chests, acting ape-like. They're celebrating a victory, but they maybe don't realize that the battle's only just begun. What do you guys want to do that you're caught between a rock and a hard place right now?
I don't think we have the resources to take any number of these creatures on,
We
particularly
need to
along with
regroup.
Vaz.
Do we fall back to Breach Hill?
They can barely defend themselves.
They can't, yeah. I mean, but where else would we go?
I mean, all Vaz is doing is leveraging the cultists to secure the gate.
One of the boggards grabs a little rock and throws it towards you guys, and it just lands innocently in the grass.
I was gonna say, can I try to
Below.
catch it?
I use telekinetic to throw it back at it.
Do it. Goes, hits him straight in the face, and he just, and you just see him fall off of the stone. You don't know how far he drops. But
Oh dear, that's oh man.
Oh,
could have been all the way
makes me
down,
so
baby.
happy.
Good shot. Good shot.
Well, ultimately, it's up to the goblins. If they want to fight for this, I'll do what I can, but
I will turn to Helba.
Helba. Helba's looking off in some direction away from you, obviously trying not to show you the sadness on her face.
I'll put a hand on her shoulder and meet her eye because we're almost the same height.
Yep.
I would rather retreat and have your people live than to fight and see your people die.
She
But
nods.
I am not your leader. The choice must be yours as a clan. Ask what you will of me, and I will help you as much as I can.
She's gonna whistle, using her the large nail on her thumb next to her protruding tooth. It's this high-pitched, shrill whistle, and it gets all of the goblins' attentions. And she's just gonna point in the direction of Breach Hill, 10 miles away.
All right.
Pity really that it's already dusk, because you have to leave as the sun sets on the Citadel. You can hear them chanting and taunting you guys.
Rune, can you send Corbus to let Breach Hill know that we're coming with a clan of goblins and not to attack us?
I mean, I can send him. I don't know what their reaction's going to be.
Well, but they trust us.
That's the theory. Rune will look to Corvus and usher him off to send word.
Excellent.
Corvus will just squawk, caw, and take off.
Anybody have any other business before you head out?
I'm going to take one last look around and remember the sound of this because I'm going to try and have to recreate the sound later. The sound of like chirping.
Oh, yes.
I'll
Rika
be-
is incredibly salty to have to, leave the fight of,
Just as it's beginning.
yeah, like
yeah.
she's not gonna say anything, but she's just like she
Right.
looks pissed.
I'm looking for Bryn and Jacob and
Yeah, they followed.
and Aldonis.
Yep, they've
Mostly
come with.
Aldonis.
Jacob he's managed to get Shavi to move and then pose statically, so he could get her to like ride a horse, for example, but she still has this sinister look in her eyes, and it's starting to almost look like they're cracking, and her lips have become chapped. She's very much alive and feverish, but something about it is just really uncanny. You can't tell if she can hear you or not.
Can I do a medicine check?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious about this too.
It's 2 notes.
What?
Got nothing. Bryn's been working hard anyway.
That's true.
There's no update. Well, it's properly nighttime by the time you arrive in town.
Jacob,
and-
can the goblins stay at the keg?
Of course.
And so I tell the goblins that we have a place for them to sleep, to rest, to recover, and we will figure out what's going on after.
Right. And as you arrive, there's a young woman with strawberry blonde hair in jet black clothing opening the gate. Says, I want you all to know that he's going to be fine. He's recovering.
Thank you.
Jolly good.
She's just going to give a weird look. Enzokule. Open the gates.
Do we recognize her? Sorry, do we know her?
Her name's Amira Lang.
Okay.
She's, I think, related. You think related to one of the counselors on the town
Amira,
council.
how is the guarding of the city taking place?
Things have been fine. In fact, morale is higher than ever since you took care of the bandits that were ravaging some of us. And I hope you lot know that goblins are always welcome in the city. I don't know why they don't visit more often.
I don't think they were aware. Goblins have had a historically ill reputation elsewhere.
Right.
But things are ever changing, and hopefully for the better.
Yes.
Appears so.
Lady Mira, would you happen to know where a chap like myself could get a spot of tea at this hour?
Tea. Well, Caden's keg, but you already know that.
Oh, I was hoping for something a little bit better. All right then, if that's the best this town has.
Well, if you think you're better than this town, then maybe you should head to the Wizard's Grace. It's good for outsiders like you.
Where is that?
Yeah, she's gonna mark it on your map.
Oh, okay, excellent. And I never said I was better than this town. I just I found the tea at the local lodge somewhat lacking. In any case, thank you very much. I'll go visit that place.
Amira, Don't fret. We all feel that way. About.
Oh, it's fine. You know, he reminds me exactly of my cousin.
I'm sure.
I'm very
is-
sorry.
Is there any update on Salix and his brother?
Wilfred has been recovering. A miracle he survived, but he's breathing and talking to me, and Salix set out a long time ago to look for Kellen Carindale.
I see. All right, then.
Doing what we can, and there's rumors about a couple of attacks, so everybody on shift's been a little bit jumpy lately. We've moved from 2 men to about 6 or 7 a night.
Well, the
That's a good
wargs,
trick.
the wargs should keep their distance for the moment. So it is only bandits and cultists that we need to worry about. So come and rouse us if anything happens that you require our direct assistance. Otherwise, we need to recuperate.
You should do so. Thank you.
you.
She's going to shut the gate. And I take it you guys are headed to Caden's Keg?
I'm heading to that wizard's place. Where's it at?
So you're headed to Wizard's Grace
Yeah.
Bye.
by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That helps with
I
my
feel like
standing
Rika.
assassin's plot thread. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Real-
Rika's fucking tired, and she's just like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Real quick, where are we telling like Shavi and are they going back to all of them going back to Caden's Keg?
Yeah.
The
Okay.
goblins are all going to Caden's Keg.
Okay.
With Jacob
Which-
Crow, Shavi, and Brintaith. And Demiriel, Polsha, and Tooth.
Okay.
That's where they're headed. This one guy is headed to Wizard's Grace, which is for outsiders. It's Trinal Uskwold. You guys have been there. That's where Calmont was staying.
Yep.
Pretty sure you guys even get a discount there.
Ha!
Oh yeah, because
Welcome.
that's where the director gave his
My play.
play.
Ha! You're welcome.
Actually, no, that was the Pickled Ear.
Oh, that. I'm
A
sorry.
different tavern. Calmont was staying at. Wow, we've already visited 3 of the 5 taverns in this town. Well done, guys.
Why does this town have so many taverns?
What else
Like-
is there to do?
It's
I
like
mean-
Starbucks.
You don't drink the water, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Hey.
So, is anybody else going to the Wizard's Grace?
No.
Rune is going to the tavern that Vaz had made a deal with.
So that's the Pickled Ear.
He's going.
Yes. That's the tunnel also that...
Yes,
Jacob-
that's why he's going there.
Right.
Alright.
So you're smart. I was going to see if anybody would pick up on that.
In that case, I will go with Rune.
I feel responsible for the goblins, so I'm gonna go with the goblins.
Yep, that's fair.
I'm going to the Pickled Ear. I'm going to get a drink.
Have fun, guys.
Oh my God.
Toodles.
I'll see you back here later. Don't die.
All right. So we'll start with the Pickled Ear. Now we're in tavern mode. We're at the bar crawl phase. This is the rough and tumble dive bar of the group, frequented by locals. The second to cheapest place to grab something to eat, because the cheapest place you practically have to beg. It's like a soup kitchen. This is a place where people go to fight, and Roxy Den is a bit sympathetic to you guys because she owes you a lot for trying to keep this a secret from you for a while. She didn't really realize the cost, but Roxy Den, the rosy red-headed dwarf, greets you all warmly as you enter Rune, Reka, and I think the director.
Yep.
How can I
Hello,
help you?
Roxy.
Roxy, you look beautiful tonight. As always, you look gorgeous.
Oh, you're just here for the tunnel. What can I help you with?
Well, oddly
Always here
enough,
for a
the
tunnel.
tunnel and a drink.
All right, well, the tunnel's ready and the drink's ready in a minute. She'll start pouring.
Rune will
something.
go straight to the tunnel.
Yep.
I'm going straight for the drink.
Right? Rika will also go for the drink.
Right. So, Rune, as you approach the tunnel, it appears these idiots haven't even discovered it yet. Maybe it's because it's a big place to search, or maybe Malarunk took up the place as his personal area. You don't know. You also don't know if maybe they're halfway through the tunnel. It's about, it is miles long. It is about 8 miles of tunnel. Do you want to go down it, or are you just going to try to seal it off?
I mean, he wants to go down the tunnel.
Right.
But that is not the smartest move.
You're exhausted.
Yes.
I think Rune would just want to find some other solution at this point because he's so tired. And he's kind of done with caves. He might be afraid of the dark at this point. It was a lot.
Do we want to try to seal it? Because, like, I have, like, Tanglefoot, and we can make, like, a web.
I don't know, like, has Rune come back up and told us this yet?
No. He's sort of staring at the hole right now, trying to work it out in his head. That will last for maybe 10 minutes, at which point he will reemerge, grab the drink, and sit down with the two of you.
What'd you find?
So the hole is still there. Want to go back through that tunnel, but I'm not sure what's out the other side. I'm not really in a particularly good spot right now to try and take on anything.
No.
So that leaves me here with a drink, the two of you, and an open tunnel that leads to the bad guys.
So, Dewey, when you were lost and we were trying to figure stuff out, I went to Tusk. Your friend, Tusk.
Real Black Tusk. Yep.
Black Tusk. There we go. Yeah, and he offered me something that could possibly, I don't know, maybe help. We were trying to decide. I think it's something, that explodes, that goes boom. I tried to get it off of him. He was like, nah, not so much. But maybe with you, maybe in this situation, maybe that'll work.
Well, here's the thing. That tunnel could be our ticket back in and a sneak attack on the enemy. That is if, and this is a big if, Boz has neglected to remember it.
Oh.
She's the one who created it. She likely still knows it exists, unless she has gone under the assumption that we destroyed it. But even then, she's going to check. So we're really at a 50-50 shot that this is worth anything.
Is it possible to create some sort of illusion, maybe?
It wouldn't last long enough. Most magics aren't going to last long enough. This needs the permanent solution.
How about a trap? Something that would cause a thing if somebody broke the,
I do like the idea of a trap. That is a ultimately permanent solution that would allow us to leverage the tunnel once we are more prepared.
Rest in peace, Moth. Thank you. Got that idea, sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. Director, can you hunt down a trap for us?
Ooh, that is a question. I can certainly try.
Wouldn't Monica be good at that?
Yeah, she might know.
Fair place to start. I am going to finish this drink and I'm going to go to sleep.
Yes. I also need to recover.
I'm going to drink.
So
and
what
then
is
go
the
do
plan
things.
for the tunnel?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess Reika would look for Monica and explain the situation and just be like, traps.
All of you
right?
might want to head to Caden's Keg, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Your aura of safety. Okay. Let's go to.
Rune is going straight to sleep.
Yeah.
Let's go to Enzokule.
Oh, God.
You're walking down the street and it suddenly feels really dark. Maybe you're not really afraid of anything. Obviously, you're not afraid of things you should be afraid of. But make me a reflex save real quick as something jumps out at you. Also, how much health do you have?
22.
13. Your ability to maintain control of the sounds you make might have waned a little bit. Somebody jumps out at you wearing all black. You look, and it's Amira Lang, and she says, "I have a question for you."
Oh
you know,
my,
this
hold
developing,
on.
And
Oh, jeez,
she's gonna head down with you. That's out of the AP book, by the way.
That scared me. Amira, right?
Amira, yes. And I
Amira.
just am curious. I've been studying magical items, and I'm wondering what that scepter of invisibility is that seems to be shoved up your ass lately. And where did you come from?
So the first part, surely you jest. Now, while I have had partners in the past and we've explored certain areas, I assure you that if anything was indeed in my ass, that I would know about it. And on to the second point, where I come from, somewhat of a land down under, if you will. A populace that is greater than this. Why does it matter, though? And why did you jump out and scare me? Man, it's I am an old man, and this is, oh man.
You don't seem that old. How old are you? She's gonna start invasively looking for bags under your eyes or wrinkles on
Sorry.
your face.
I'm 277.
No, you don't.
Yes.
And what's that? And she'll push your shirt, revealing some of those arcane tattoos. Runes.
Wow, this is you really don't follow the decorum at all. You're just, your hands are just everywhere. But
She'll
you
just put them in her pockets.
Okay, thank you very much. It's you're causing me to blush. Any case, these arcane markings, something I've had for a while now. I think they originate from my my old city, or maybe even the first city that I lived out. Really, my first 100 years. Any case, it allows me to conjure up ice for the most part, and has been very helpful when I need a drink slightly colder.
What do you drink?
Oh, well, I prefer tea. Yes, really anything infused with water. Kind of like some roots or lavender or soft petals and such.
Wow, look at you. What a civilized man. Well, I have a great idea. She's going to take her leather boot and push open the door to the Wizard's Grace. It says, "Did you know that the Wizard's Grace has tea?"
I think someone told me. I thought it was you. Said there may indeed be tea in this area. Though I am kind of hesitant now because I don't really respect any establishment where you can kick open the door with your boot. And I'll kind of peer inside. Is this why are you wearing all black?
She's going to look down on the ground. You can see like the warm light of the fire from inside contrast with like the dark blue that's outside, and she's going to look at the ground and just speak to herself. He's not going to last a month here. Well, tell you what.
Wait.
Go ahead and get yourself a tea.
Okay.
On me. She'll hand you a couple of coins. Just get 2 and use some of that ice magic, if you will. I want to try that. I have to keep patrolling, but it was nice meeting you.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about the Scarlet Triad, would you?
The what?
The Scarlet Triad, that underworld organization that people seem to be afraid to speak out loud.
Is that like one of the director's plays or something?
No, it's written a little bit better, a little bit more nuanced with several layers. While I did enjoy the director's play, it was more so theatrics for people under 50.
Okay, I have no clue what you're talking about. In fact, I haven't had a clue what you're talking about.
In any case, director's no Josh Whedon, but maybe one day might be as famous as the director Michael Bay, in his very famous plays about some constructed creatures that have come to our
Look,
planet.
sir,
It's,
you're charming and all. As much as I'd like to talk about the work of artificers and golems, I would very much like a tea, and I'm beginning to run out of formalities. But I think of you as a friend.
no,
Good
well,
friend.
thank you. That
Maybe a
is.
friend that gets me tea.
Yes, that's actually might be the nicest thing anyone has said to me.
I don't doubt it.
In a while, except for my dear companion Reika. It's so hard to meet someone that you kind of carried when you're young. You know, it's a lot has changed. You know, a little bit of potbelly right now, and in any case, let me get our tea, and I'll ice up our tea.
Reika, you said.
Yes, she's a.
Actually, tell me about her, and she'll step in with you and shut the door.
Oh, excellent.
We're gonna go back to Caden's keg.
That
Gives
was
away
intense.
everything about everybody.
God, I hate you. No.
Oh God, we're
If I was a vengeful GM, tomorrow would be hard for you. Tomorrow's gonna be hard.
If
You guys can put your characters where you'd like to be.
I was
and-
told that the summation of tomorrow was that everyone was gonna die. So
That was off screen. Yes.
Oh my God. I
All
feel
right.
like Reika wants to pass the
Is
fuck
this
out.
is this the point in time where Rune is dead asleep?
So this is when you have all just first arrived. Enzokule is not here yet. He will not
Alright.
be here for a few hours. You have just
Rune does not
arrived.
pass go. He does not collect $200.
Yep.
He goes straight to bed.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Reika wants to go to bed too.
Yeah, the director is gonna inform Madoka of the tunnel and that and the plan to try and find a trap and try
Okay.
and engage. Yeah. So
when you find me, I'm actually in the stable talking with Aldonis.
Okay.
So I'm just like, listen, I know today was rough, and I know seeing your brother was probably not the coolest thing ever, but you were epic today, and we are going to work together to get you stronger, to get you faster, to get you to be more lethal, and you and I are going to be the deadliest team that the world has ever seen, and your name will be legend among the Two Legs and among the wargs and anybody else who will listen.
All right.
And
Wait. Hey, Madoka. Sorry.
good night, Aldonis.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Great speech. I liked it. I like it. You do good speeches back there. It was great. I loved it.
Sure. Hi.
Hi. All right. So
Let's walk and talk because I'm tired and I'm sure you're tired.
I am not tired, actually.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's amazing once you get a good story going. You just kind of want to see it to the end. That's kind of how I feel right now. But yes, let's walk.
Does this conversation require alcohol?
What doesn't? What conversation doesn't?
Great.
Let's go.
Let's go and get some alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you walk up to the bar, Bryn Taith she just stops you for a second, and you see her around the corner pulling out an entire wagon of kegs of ale, and as you look behind you, all 5 of the tables are just swamped with piles of goblins, roaring at the chance to just get absolutely plastered on some quality ale here at the inn. I'm gonna cut away actually real quick to Rune.
Before he passes out.
Yeah.
The camera looks at Rune and he's snoring.
Okay, yes. So he's dead asleep. And that's fine.
Oh no.
We're gonna cut let's see. Reika, what are you doing?
I imagine that, she would be doing whatever, prayers and nightly rituals she needs to do before also passing the fuck out.
Yep. And Madoka?
Well,
The bar?
we are at the bar. I am going to slip Jacob my 200 silver pieces and be like, just in case it's needed.
Yeah, he'll take it. He says, It's not, but I'm broke.
Okay,
Do
well.
you like coffee?
Yes, I do. Just not right now. I will like it in the morning. Because I intend on sleeping after the green-haired one talks to me about stuff and things.
See, Bryn? I told you it was a halfling thing.
What?
She just shakes her head.
What?
Don't humor him.
No, now I want to know.
Bryn's just, she rubs her forehead. Jacob got close to a halfling once, and she drank coffee 23 hours out of the day. Suddenly he thinks he's allowed to claim stereotypes.
One moment. Jacob.
He's a little
Jacob.
embarrassed.
Do you want that 200 silver?
I would like it.
Okay. Coffee is great for keeping you awake. It's great for mornings. If people want to drink it at night, it's probably because they have to take night watch. And if people who happen to be halflings drink it, that's fine. But we didn't start it. And we're not going to end drinking it. So get off your high horse and deal with it. I don't have time for this. Okay? Are we
Put a
good?
rag over her shoulder and get to work.
I'll take a coffee though. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Gnome in the back's like, I'm down.
Yeah.
What do you got? I want some.
Yes.
Told you, not a halfling
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know if anybody in the group is staying up particularly late, but
and this
most of everybody
this
here's dead
banter
tired.
Jacob should be familiar with, because this is some of the tone that Monica has taken with him over the weeks that she's been in residence at the keg. So she's not being rude, she's just using her
Monica.
she's just using her short privilege.
Oh my god. Short privilege. So I think that about wraps it up for the night. The last person to get in would be our boy Enzokule, who managed to spill his guts over the course of 4 hours with pretty much a complete stranger.
Yeah.
With ties to the councils of Breach Hill, but that's probably not an issue. No red flags there. Enzokule, you come in and get sleep. What is the first thing you guys would like to do in the morning? You guys wake up just after dawn. Actually, we'll start with Rune. Rune in particular. You've managed to sleep through a weird dream, like a rhythmic clock ticking, but there's a pounding feeling, a bit of a weird vibrating sensation. But you wake up, and it's been Calmont who's been chained up and held in your room. You'd forgotten about him.
Oh no!
And he's just kicking your bed to try to get you to wake up.
Oh no!
You realize as in a haze that he must have been doing this for an hour or two.
Rune snaps up, looks at him. No one sets you free?
Why would they?
Have you been fed?
Yeah. They've been fed.
Oh, all right. You haven't starved or anything then?
No, but I swear when you looked at me coming in last night, I thought you were going to strangle me. What
That's a
happened?
distant possibility.
What happened?
Oh, Wallace. No,
Ah, shit.
her magic's got in the way.
Yeah.
She has the gate.
She has the gate then. Have you seen the gate?
Sort of, yeah.
Is it active? Do you know?
It is. That's how I got here.
Something doesn't add up. If the
It's
gate's
up.
active, they're out of here. They had access.
What do you know about Norberger?
That's the kind of god you don't speak about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the god of swallowing your tongue. The day you want to say something bad. That she is. Reaper of reputation.
Yeah.
She likes
Do you know if I was a follower?
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Voz is a twisted fuck. If she wants to forge an alliance, don't trust her.
Don't worry, I don't. She's already forged an alliance with the cultists, the dragon cultists underneath the citadel.
She would. Well, if you're getting breakfast, I'd do anything for a poached egg right now.
At that point, Monica comes and kicks on the door. I had breakfast.
You have a key?
Well, I was gonna make sure you were decent, and then I come in.
I mean, in fairness, Rune is probably just wearing a shirt, an oversized shirt at the moment.
Okay. So I've got porridge and a poached egg. I filched you some toast, and because Jacob is a dick, here's some coffee. Oh, that's not for you. That's for him. Your stuff is hot, ready, and better downstairs.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a halfling thing, but this coffee is fantastic.
He does
I
make
know,
really
right?
good coffee. He does make really good coffee, but he thinks we're the only ones that drink it.
Monica,
What, hon?
can we at least let Calment not be in my room when I'm asleep?
I'm not the one who put him in here.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot about the little bloke. No
All
offense,
right.
Calment.
No, it's fine.
I don't know. I'm not in charge of this thing, but sure. I'm sure there's another room that we can put him in. I am not putting him in my room before you say anything.
No. Do we cuff him to the bed?
His arms are bound with something he can't break.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
manacles.
I unbind his hands so that he can eat. Obviously.
Yeah, he seems different. But that would be a betrayal to your own morals to let yourself forget that he killed so many people. But something about him seems really calm and docile lately. Much unlike the goblins downstairs, they are loud as hell. It sounds like a skirmish down there.
They sound like more themselves.
Yeah. Sound like they're eating faces, but it's actually just food.
Yeah, they're actually super happy. Like, more. I think this is what happens when they're properly fed.
Aw.
Calment?
Huh?
Calment.
Oh.
Yes.
How do you feel about being bait? Potentially bait.
Yeah, if you asked me before I spent a week in confinement, I would have said no. That's worth dying for. Why not?
I need someone to scout down the tunnel.
Is this
What happened on the other end of it?
Well, that's where they're at right now.
I
As
will.
far as I know, it's still open.
I will whisper to Rune. Is this before or after I trap it?
It's before.
Okay.
During.
Timing is everything.
Thank you.
Good plan.
Right. You're still in your. Okay, bye. And Monica leaves.
Aw.
And
All right.
prays that Corvus hasn't said anything.
Oh my god. So.
Corvus is still asleep.
He's sleepy. The director.
Ha!
What's your morning like?
All right, so the director, once everybody else kind of goes to sleep, he'll actually stay with Shavi and kind of retell what happened. He's that's before he goes to bed, and then he'll go to bed because he actually wants to keep her in the loop, and it's
That is so funny because you guys don't know.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to the director and Monica, 2 people in this party are keeping Shavi updated on everything that happens, which must be exhausting.
Poor Shavi, who's hearing this,
You
like
get all the details
Oh no.
2 times.
Mine
That's
is
good.
the-
It's a bias
no.
filter.
I'm going to say that he has a lot more interesting narrative and juxtaposition for all the
I'm
characters
sure.
involved, because that is he's going to make the story good at least. So
Monica actually hasn't gone back to Xavi's room since coming back.
Oh wow.
But in the morning, he would wake up probably hearing the goblins.
Yeah.
And kind of join in amongst them, getting coffee and at least being within the rabble of all of this, because he enjoys that.
That's good. And how about you, Enzokule?
Oh, well, Enzokule would have came down early, right as before the sun had risen. Get himself a spot of tea and preferably a nice walk around the town, and then return, a little bit of crumpet and a tea. And then, I'll probably just go through his notes about the current investigations, as well as look over the debt that the director has.
You probably estimate the next update is 20,001 gold.
Yeah.
Just for interest.
I kind of mark it, and it's like,
Oh my god.
Just no pressure, just crippling debt, but no pressure, because you could die and make a new character, and technically your debt's clear. That's a big brain play.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so I guess as everybody finds themselves sort of in the center, everyone's enjoying breakfast. Bryn Taith and Jacob Crow are chatting, and he heads up, and he brings down Shavi. And sets her down on one of the benches. They're chatting. He looks like he's about to set off or something. He puts on a coat, some boots, and then he puts a cloak over Shavi and chats with Bryn a little bit longer.
You heading somewhere?
We had to make a decision. I suppose I should tell all of you this. Listen up, Jacob says, and as the goblins die down, such a small amount. I promised Shavi's parents I could protect her. That was the condition that she came down here. I failed to do so. So somebody's coming to take my place here to assist Bryn, and I'm taking Shavi back.
Okay.
Yes.
Since you're addressing everyone in the inn, who's Shavi?
This is Shavi. You notice the paralyzed woman.
Oh. I
What
feel
of the
like
book?
there's a couple of more questions, but go ahead.
Not the time, Master. Not the time.
I don't know anything about this book. If you think it's better off here, that's fine. I'm sure Shavi and her parents would just want her safe.
Where is it?
Should be up in her room. Last I said it.
Be right back.
I'll go with you.
As Rune smiles, of course you will.
Okay.
And he'll continue to head upstairs.
Yeah, so is the book up there, Monica? That's a question for you.
The book is in my room.
Yeah, yep.
So Rune, when you go into Shavi's room, you will see a note on her desk that's nice and folded. And it says, "Dear Shavi, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, so I took the book for safekeeping. I promise I'll bring it back. Love, Monica."
Oh my god.
You still have the book?
Yeah.
Why are
Obviously.
you so interested in it?
It's kind of the whole reason I came here.
Yeah, about that. Tell me more.
Oh, this is gonna be a long conversation. Hey, let's okay. I take him back to my room to talk it out. Basically, I have an obsession with dragons, and I learned of these really weird books, and I absolutely had to read it, and I was frustrated that I couldn't wrap my head around it, so I've been reading it to Shavi out loud so that she could also possibly obtain the knowledge, since she was also interested, and I felt like, if I'm reading it, it's only right that she should. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, so I've read it 3 times now, and it's still slow going.
Where does your obsession with dragons come from?
Probably about the same time I got this, and I hold up the dragon pendant, the one that connects me and Reika for some reason. Just like, I don't know, I've been traveling for so long, and dragons seem like they don't have to hide from anyone.
Are you tired of hiding from people?
Yeah, but it's the only thing I'm good at.
Nothing wrong with that. And, to be fair, you've managed to rally a group of goblins.
Yeah, don't know how that happened.
And train a warg. So I would say hiding is not all you're good at.
Well, none of you guys can take a hit, so...
None of us can... I mean, I've taken a few licks so far. Alright. You're obsessed over dragons and you don't know why.
Yeah.
You got that pendant at a market somewhere?
Yeah.
Arbitrarily? Did you pick it out?
I wasn't specifically looking for it, but, like, I saw it, and...
You wanted it.
Like, yeah, it was meant to be around my neck.
When you came to this town?
Oh God, I don't know.
You came to this town in the 1st of February. It has been months.
I came the same day as you.
Yeah, but how long did you have the pendant before then?
Oh.
8 months, maybe. You've been following ever since you got it.
Less than a year.
Where was this market?
It was a little shop. I'd like to say in Katapesh. We visited at the time.
Katapesh, I think. I don't know.
Bazaar, yeah.
It was a desert bazaar. It was. It was a very trying time, but I think that's the town I was in.
All right.
So, what connection do you have to Shavi?
We're from the same town.
Is that all?
Parents are the wealthy lot. Actually, the richest in the town, to be honest.
So, why does Voz's employers want you both dead?
That is a really good question that I don't have an answer to.
So, I'm concerned that if Shavi gets away, when Shavi gets away, that they will redouble their efforts on you.
Yes.
That could be a problem.
Mainly for me, but I appreciate your concern.
Well, yeah, kind of. You're like moss. You grow on people. Not like moth, but moss.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, I think. Suffice to say, I feel I need to understand more about Breachton and who he was, and why does he look like me, or why do I look like him?
So, if all of this is connected, how about we try to make concerted efforts to research the town's history and this book and see if there's a commonality, if there's some kind of connection. Like, that can be our pet project in between me training Aldonis to be stronger.
Well,
I mean, obviously we've got to survive first, but
if my dream before I arrived into this town is to be believed, your pendant, along with Reika's, my uncanny resemblance to the founder of this town, the director's ability to direct. I'm not exactly sure where the director fits in just yet, but it's going to come to me.
Didn't the director, like, summon Moth?
You might look down the balcony to see him weaving some fantastical tales to these gullible goblins.
But it wasn't the director doing it. Just the body.
I don't like feeling like I don't have choices. Like, we're all being thrown together, and then all of these connections are happening.
Yeah, you guys actually, you can look out down the balcony because your room's line, you can see as soon as you come out. It's almost sort of like a motel attached to a tavern. You can see as you look out down the balcony, there's 24 goblins listening to the director telling a story. I think Reika's down there. Enzokule is getting tea. And Jacob Crow is bickering with him about something. But continue.
This interesting thing about choices, fate, and all the chaos that banters about us every day. You learn it when you start to pick up magic, mainly through the more wizardly arts, although sorcerers are particularly in tune with these sorts of things. You have to understand that you've made every choice that brought you to this very moment. You chose to protect those goblins. You chose to lead them through their crisis moment. You chose to take on Adonis and train it. You chose to protect that one over the others and ensure its safety. So you've made a lot of choices that have brought you to this very moment right now. From the moment you chose to pick up that necklace. So you have a lot of choices. You can choose to walk away from all of this.
You see
Drop
goblins,
the necklace, leave it, and be gone.
You see goblins mimicking key moments over the last 2 months, feigning a collapse on the ground, faking a stab, playing up parts as the director telling a story.
But if there's one thing I've learned about you, Modica, you don't like to hide as much as you're good at it. You like the center of attention. You like to lead. It's an interesting trait about you. I think you try and hide that more than anything.
You can see, like, tears welling in her eyes, and she tries to wipe them away and hide it.
But do what you're good at. Lead these goblins, protect them. Hide them if necessary. Teach them your ways. Ensure that they're safe. Do the same thing with Adonis. For as long as we are here in this town figuring out this problem, I will help you as best I can. But I make no promises that our alliance will last beyond this particular adventure. I have no doubt that we are going to become friends. I do like you. You're a quaint little halfling. Quizzical. A bit of a paradox. I like that.
This is the first time it didn't sound like an insult.
Oh no, that is definitely not an insult. You are the biggest little halfling I've ever met.
And you are the cleverest human I've ever met.
Oh, I'm the most cleverest human you'll ever meet, I assure you.
Well,
I'm the humblest.
But thank you. Now, let's go down and figure out what our problem is and how to fix it, shall we?
don't tell the others you saw me cry.
I didn't see a thing.
Good man.
Stealthy. So the plan right now seems to be get Calment into the tunnel. And that's it for now. Do you guys want to go about that? do you think the best approach is?
Yeah, were we
Well,
were we also gonna try and trap it? That was gonna be the.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we spent an entire evening discussing. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm emotional right now. Because the director kept me up talking about this plan.
Hey, I was just going off what we had decided last. I thought it was really important, and also I don't sleep a lot. I
To be
like.
fair, that was because I completely forgot Calmont existed, and that he was
he
chained in my
exists.
room.
Oh yeah, we chained him to his room. Forgot about that. That's great.
Yeah, we did. However, I've asked him to scout down the tunnel, and I think he is willing. Looking at Calmont as I make that statement.
So he's not come down with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would make sure he came down with us.
Yeah, so as you come to bring him, practically drag him down the stairs, his gaze, that bit of humor and wit and snarkiness kind of dies, and his eyes are directly pointed to the floor as he makes his way across the room. And the goblins now are more quiet than they were when they were told to be quiet.
So Rune will
Bad
stop
blood.
at about halfway down the stairs with him,
Yep.
and he'll look to the goblins and then to Calmont. All right, this is going to be very awkward and heartbreaking, I'm sure.
I translate.
Thank you. I understand that you lot probably have nothing but ill will for this individual, and I can wholeheartedly respect that, as I'm sure Calmont himself does. Suffice it to say, if we are going to have any chance to get you back to your home, we need his help. And I believe he is willing to offer it, if for no other reason than some form of redemption.
I'll look at Calmont and say check talk. It means I agree.
He says, check talk.
Is that Klingon?
And they just,
I made it up, okay?
It's Klingon.
let's hit.
One last thing for you to pass along to them, Monica. I'm not asking them to forgive him by any stretch of the imagination. I'm simply asking them to tolerate his presence, to try and get their home back.
Monica has to think really hard what the word is for forgive.
Yeah, there kind of isn't one. You
Yeah.
have to use like a saying, like a metaphor or something.
I'm not
Yeah.
asking them to not kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, maybe like no kill now, big profit later.
My God.
So that's Ferengi. Let's continue crossing the streams. So I will say, he is not he is still responsible, and his sentence will come later.
They nod. Some of them rap the table with one of their knuckles in agreement.
Okay.
All right, Calmont, here's the thing.
It's back to normal for the goblins for the most part.
Mhm.
We're going to be sending you down that tunnel, and then we are going to be trapping it behind you. The reason that we're doing this is because if something happens to you and they decide to come back down that tunnel, we need to make sure it gets closed.
It's a matter of time. If Voz knows about the tunnel, if she hasn't gone through it already, it's soon. You guys are going to head over there. It's not far. It's on the same side of town. I take it you lot are all going to go. Leave Demiri, Tooth, and the goblins back as you head over to the Pickled Ear. So, and Calmont's going to say, what do you want me to do when I get there?
I'll be sending Corvus. Same time as you. In theory, he should be arriving there. He will do his best to get down into the tunnels. At the very least, scout it out. head back here through the tunnel. We will... How far is the trap going to be in, Monica?
Well, I would put it in right about where we can see them coming in, like within the field of vision. So as soon as somebody who is who's not supposed to be there shows up and doesn't see what triggers the trap, it will be far enough away that the inn won't collapse on it, but close enough where we can see that it's been triggered.
I understand.
Is it possible for me to help her with my like give her the assist bonus with like my nature or
I would totally accept help. I don't like having all this responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, bless or something if you have bless, or you can give a bonus to nature. What kind of trap are you trying to?
Well, I figured I would do some kind of something that would collapse the tunnel and make it impassable. I'd be looking
just foundations, like you
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, I'd be looking for a trigger that would collapse the tunnel in an area where the foundation would fall in.
Calmont's eyes widen for a second. Spell
I
bomb.
would. What is it?
Vaz made them. I used them. She might have a couple left.
Great. And we've already disarmed that deadly door of hers, so we can get in pretty easily.
Oh, you need to be careful about the door.
Oh yeah. No, remember the creepy.
We figured that out.
Remember the
Rest in
creepy
peace, Moth.
Earth skull dude thing?
Where?
No, the door took care of him.
Oh.
And you can hear the ghost of Moth going, "Oh my god!" Not me either.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, so you guys will head over to Vaz's shop. Calmont knows the way, but you all know how to get there by now. And as soon as you head in, it's all full of junk at this point. Some of the stuff has been stolen just because the place has been abandoned.
Well,
it's kind of a wreck. One of the windows was left open when you guys came in, so now everything's water damage. But you'll go into the staff room. He'll open up a drawer, and it's an empty egg. And he whispers something in just like some Aslanti phrase or something, and it opens up. And in another drawer, he puts in a weird, small, glowing, egg-shaped runic item that just clicks in magnetically, and then it shuts itself. And he hands it to you, Monica.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bomb. It's not a trap, but we could seal the tunnel. It'll be just me with them.
Well, so if the plan is to get you back alive, if you are running back and you are being pursued, is there an activation word that you can activate as soon as you cross that threshold?
The activation's a hard impact.
Got it.
If I need to, I'll pick it up and I'll throw it back down.
Okay. So I will keep it concealed in an area, and it will have this mark, and I make a mark of a mushroom. I don't know why. It's just the first thing I could think of.
It looks like a muffin.
Yeah. And so that is where it will be.
So you guys go from...
Do you want me to just cast Sigil for you?
Well, we just got the bomb. We're planning out how we're gonna plant it. You can totally do Sigil, and that's fine.
Well, so I'm saying is that if you're making a mark and you want to make sure that it lasts and doesn't get fucked up, like at least for a little bit, like
great.
Yeah.
Yes, I would totally accept, like, as I'm explaining the plan, if that's what you suggest, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, we'll take that help.
I just imagine it's like she like draws the thing and Rika's just like,
Thanks, Reika. That's even better than I planned it.
And if worse comes to worse, I'll look at Rune. I'll use Mage Hand, like just Mage Hand.
So you
Okay.
guys reach the pickled ear, and it's actually packed on this morning.
Oh God.
Some people are actually, already looking pretty day drunk. Oh, I should give you guys an overnight rest. Let me.
Yeah, please.
I think
Please,
all of
that
you.
would be great.
How do you do rest from this menu? So you guys reach the pickled ear, and people are glaring at Calmont almost immediately. Hear a couple of them cursing at him, but the stairs going down are close by, so pretty quickly you already find yourselves in the basement. You can hear people bickering about Calmont from the thin floorboards. And there's the hatch to the tunnel before you. Calmont reaches his hand out for the spell egg.
Be honest, sending Corvus isn't going to do any good. You're going to be too deep into the building for Corvus to be of any help. Do what you can. Figure out what's going on. Don't take too many risks. Come back this way as soon as you can.
Give me a knife.
A knife?
A knife.
A knife.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He's
We're going to pull one of his.
Says, you know, a human knife is a perfect size for a halfling.
Yeah,
It's
it
about
is.
a short sword, and
Well, actually, a halfling-sized knife is perfect for a halfling.
Enzokule, I
Look.
swear to the seven hells. Quiet.
wise old elf. Don't tell me what our ancestors used to do, because we take these into battle. Human smiths made knives. We've won wars with these. And I'm gonna cut Vaz's fucking throat with this one.
Probably not, but yeah.
He's gonna open the hatch.
God.
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
Wait.
Calmont,
Cool lie.
Yeah, and right before he shuts it, he looks up at you.
you know that when this is done, you are still not forgiven.
I know.
How long
Come
should we
back
wait?
alive.
How long should we wait?
I don't think you should wait.
All
What
right.
about the plan? Assume it's failed, and well, if I'm alive, then back to the maniples.
Good luck.
Likewise. He'll shut
Wait.
it. Oof. So what's the plan now? Where can we hit?
How are we doing on time?
It's about mid. It's about 11, you would think. Which, oh right, that's right about time. Enzokule, you didn't forget, did you? Check your hourglass.
Oh, I have my meeting with Vaz. He looks at his wrist. I have a meeting. It was truly a pleasure being with everyone during these fancy escapades. And may we meet again sometime soon. And he'll head off in a rush.
Wait. Am I free? Is my debt gone? Thank you. Bye.
No, it's not. It's only gotten worse. I have the new receipt
Go.
right here.
Why don't
if
you go?
want.
You're gonna be late. I really.
I have. What is he doing? I have the sneaking suspicion that there was something that was going to happen, and I can't
So
remember.
he's organized. Most of you,
Yeah.
but
we
Rune
were
will
here.
remember this immediately. He did organize a meeting with Vaz before everything went
We
to
should.
shit.
Right.
At Bryn's place.
We should
Yeah,
not
Kane's Keg.
let. So, I love my.
We're gonna be there anyway because we're heading back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should not let him talk to Vaz because he is immediately going to tell her exactly what has happened here.
Yeah. Is there a way to like mute him?
Ooh,
I'm going
immune
to
spell. Your
I'm going
bonus.
to hold out a little bit of trust that Enzokule will not do this. Now, I would like to point out of character, Owen says that, fully aware.
Of what
That,
happened the night before?
Yeah.
Oh, Mitchell's such a funny
Oh my God.
player. Yeah, and you guys
Yes.
arrive at Caden's Keg.
Yeah, I like have like I have, you know, I got a nice table. I've pulled out like a tablecloth from my pack and it's nice and black, and I've put it over the table, and I
Ooh,
lit a candle, and
you have doilies. Like,
yes,
that's how fly it is.
I am. Yeah, and I like, you know, I
Because
have
Enzokule just seems like the kind of guy who travels with doilies.
all the
Man.
time. He has like his notebook out, and he's patiently waiting with his quill, like.
Yeah, so as you guys arrive, and Enzokule is going to begin to set this up.
Rune, you should probably make yourself scarce if this is actually gonna go down. Considering
No.
she still wants you dead.
I know.
Okay.
I can't wait for this conversation.
As you approach the door, a blonde-haired man reaches for it and says, "Oh, I'll get this for you." Interesting. And he's gonna look at you, Rune. Could I be wrong, or do you look just like Lemon Breachton?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Sure. All right. Yeah. After you. He'll let the party in.
I'm so tired of people telling you that.
And as you guys come down the stairs, yeah, he heads in last, and once Jacob can see him, he calls out, "Aiden, come here, boy." Just right, and he heads over to the bar. Enzokule is starting to dress the table over on the. Oh, how does he not have a token in here yet? There, he's setting up that table. What do you guys want to do?
I am going to encourage Rune to maybe go upstairs.
Nope.
Reika is going to sit next to Enzokule.
Why are people? I'm gonna go hide behind the bar.
I'm going to get the best vantage point. Like, I'm going to
Interesting.
go up high and get the best vantage point of this.
The meeting, huh? And the director? You said you're going up high?
Yeah, I'm going up
So
high.
you would want to go up on the railing where all of your rooms are on the second floor, because you guys have the second floor rooms, because they're nice. The
Yeah.
goblins sleep on the first floor rooms, but yeah, you get the balcony view.
I want the high ground.
I'm cleaning cups as I'm down there because whatever.
Yeah.
Ian, I have a
Yes.
question. When you take a full rest, does it heal your wounds to full or no?
It doesn't. I don't
Okay.
remember how much it heals, but it did automatically heal some amount of health for everybody. I think it's something plus your con modifier.
Yeah, it's like
know.
level plus con.
Yeah, it did. It automatically applied to everybody when I did it. I just don't know how much
Okay.
it was. You guys have more healing spells you can use though, because everything's
Yeah.
reset.
Okay, cool.
I was just like, why do I have 25 hit points? That sucks.
Yeah. Monica, we'll start with you. So the man is quite strange. You notice he walks with a cane. Every time he taps it on the ground, it glows with a spiral of green energy that immediately disperses. You can't tell if it's a novelty item or what, but you can tell he knows Jacob Crow quite well. He shakes his hand. Jacob, could we talk in private, please?
Oh, sorry. And I go and
Oh, no, that's fine. Sorry. Excuse me. And then are you going to go out of the bar?
yeah, I'll put down what I've cleaned so far and then head upstairs, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, if you head over, you'll probably see the director watching from one side of the fireplace. You guys are negotiating from the lower end of the railing instead of the upper end, which is just human architecture at its worst.
Yeah, really.
And Aiden starts to whisper or talk at a hushed tone with Jacob and Bryn. But that takes secondary focus. The door is open once more, and it's Voz. She'll head down the stairs.
That bitch.
Cue
Yeah,
the
it really
Imperial
is
March.
that bitch.
Yeah,
Rika
I'll get
is-
up. Well, Vaz, over here.
Oh, look what you've done.
Rika is attempting to be casual, even though she's like deeply uncomfortable.
Holding her shoulders down to look relaxed.
Barkeep, I would like a bit of tea with lemon. Vaz, would you like anything? It's on me.
Ale is fine.
And a spot of ale for Lady Vaz here.
So, she looks around, some familiar faces, and she'll sit and rest herself, grab a napkin, say, well, we've all attended the show last night. What do you make of it?
Well,
I'll
are
ask
you
you
okay, Lady Vaz? That man was quite rough with you.
I can handle myself. Would you say otherwise?
No, it's just it's just terrifying to see.
Oh, well, I'm sorry you were terrified.
Oh, well, it's okay. You know, there's a lot of scary things out here.
Right, and see, I wish to spare you of this, and that's
Uh-huh.
really why I wish to negotiate. I want you to understand that my client has been making bold decisions lately. Namely, well, it appears the faction that works for my client, the Cinder Claws, they have decided.
Yeah, that's the clan that wiped out my mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it was like 200 years ago. It's so long.
Rika's just internally screaming.
Well, you think it was only as recently as 200 years ago. I have terrible news for you, dear. But
Was it
perhaps it's not
earlier?
the time for bad. No, it's just never stopped, you see.
Oh,
The way I see it in my research, the Akuje that wander too far from home are little more than cowards. See, the war with the Cinder Pluck cult never truly ended. The only
Oh.
people who believe so are just the ones that managed to get far away from it, like yourself.
Huh.
But no matter. You're in it for your own
So-
protection, and that's why I'm here too. Truly. Yes, Reika.
So the Cinder Claws work for your employers.
You're correct.
If that is the case, then why did it? Why the display?
Display? Well, we hadn't met each other yet. He didn't know who I was. To Malorunk, an honorable person, I would have you know, I was one of you. He didn't realize my relationship with my client, and he still doesn't. Yet, I'm valuable to him, especially since I'm negotiating here. Rune, why don't you take a seat? There's plenty of space.
oh yeah, pretty much we're all here. I think the whole group that you saw is somewhere in this inn.
Mind if I do?
And Vaz is gonna scoot in for a second. 1 second, and I think we have some newcomers here dropping in
Other
to check out the
dog.
channel. Hi, everybody. Actually,
Hey.
let's just do a quick recap so we can remember where we are.
Great.
Center your focus on this middle table here. We're in the middle of a deep negotiation. Let's start with Rune on the left.
So, Rune, Mr. Smith played Rune Ravenswood, a wizard, fledgling wizard, coming to this town to try and expand his knowledge on magic and earn some coin. In the midst of this, he not only ran into an exact likeness of him from about a century before, I think. This particular table, however, he is sitting across from what could arguably be his current arch nemesis, Lady Vaz Lorraine, who apparently wants to get him because of this likeness, that he's not quite sure why. And he's eager to find out what this mystery is.
Much to unravel. And the Akuje elf, Enzokule. All right, and Reika.
So Reika is a lizard folk druid who was raised by the Akuje elves. And it was Enzokule specifically who saved her when the Cinder Claws wiped out and razed the village where she grew up, which is pretty much the only thing that she keeps chanting to herself right now as she wants to choke him. And she is finding out specifically more about, or at least she's trying to find out more about the Cinder Claws and why they were attacking the Akuje. Because basically, like, as far as she's aware, she's been chased by them her whole existence. So she has a lot of very complex and angry feelings right now at this here table.
It seems everything is centered around this one point, this one known member who has
This one
ties to
doily
Cinder
on
Claw.
the table.
One person that'll talk to you, yes. And up on the balcony, staying safely at a distance from this conversation, we'll start with Monica Freerunner.
Did we talk about Enzokule yet?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted because
He's having delightful trade negotiations.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like,
Sorry.
everything's been
Negotiations were
great.
sold.
I was so angry, I was blinded and made deaf. So I am Monica Freerunner. I am a halfling, former loss prevention consultant, now inspirational speaker for the goblins, raiser of a warg, and somehow some kind of leader who is trying really hard not to get her friend Rune killed, but he keeps making it very difficult.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
And last but not least, on the other side of that two-story fireplace, we have the Director.
I am the Director. I am a gnome bard. Right now, this is all a very good vantage point for the screenplay that I am currently writing, where the two parties are meeting and aggressive negotiations are about to start. And I hope that the egg and blasting is involved. And I'm hoping it is mainly going towards Enzokule. That is kind of my plot for all of this.
Make sure
Because
to
I
put
have
down that his
debts.
hair is oily.
I have a lot of
Yeah,
debts.
all the details.
Oh my god.
All the tables here in this inn called Caden's Keg are filled with goblins who have become allies of the party. Just about everybody in this building, except for Vaz, is
Oh, and
under
we are
their
called
banner.
the Unforgotten.
Nobody forgets that. That's the one rule.
That was me. That
I
was me.
forgot
That's
it.
all me. That was mine.
So now you were deep into a negotiation with an enemy, somebody who has caused quite a lot of misery.
I mean,
Quite a lot of
let's
people
not
in this
exaggerate.
building.
Well, no, she killed Moth. Even though we didn't like him.
I mean, technically, though, Moth sort of killed himself. I mean, if we're just gonna be like honest,
It counted. Yeah, it was basically suicide. Moth killed Moth, and he would have wanted that.
Yeah.
He's
He's just taking another form.
Voz is going to say, so I have an offer. You see,
Excellent. Let's hear it.
Right. I don't think it's the kind that you're going to favor.
Well, then why proposition it?
Well, they, not we. I am not the Cinder Claws, but the Cinder Claws are going to need control of the Citadel for some time.
Okay.
They seem to have taken it, so they're beyond asking.
Yes.
Now, you wouldn't want to be under the hit list, so to speak, of the client to which I'm representing right now, so I have left most of your names off of any dealings with them. Now, the minute I start to see transgressions, I could go back on that, and you wouldn't want to see that, I promise. Scarlet Triad, not anybody to mess with, so...
Why do they keep saying it out loud?
What would be?
Wait, okay, so you would like ownership of the castle for an undetermined amount of time. And as long as we leave you be, that's it? You won't give our name to the Scarlet Triad?
She's going to look at Rune. She's going to say, I really like him, you know.
You like Rune, or who are we talking about?
You, Enzokule.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Lady Voz. I have to say, being in your company warms my heart as well.
I cannot say the same.
I turn to the director and be like, they belong together.
Just hear from the balcony.
Well, Rune, dear, I hope you don't take it personally, but you seem to have some childish instinct to become king of this hill. Tell me, what's so special about this citadel?
Well, it's not yours, first of all. Second of all, it belonged to some friends of mine, and you've taken it. So that's what's special about it.
Oh, well, you've misunderstood me. I haven't taken anything. Malarum gained control, and you have the gift of my diplomacy to prevent further bloodshed.
Thank you.
Until this can be sorted out.
Yes.
And what have you promised him in return?
Well, I'm sure this isn't a secret now that you've raided my personal belongings, but the artifacts deep below the Citadel are of great import to them. That's how they got here. It's how they'll leave. But I just want to warn you. Should they leave through the way they came, and should those portals be repaired, it'd be in your interest, in the interest of your friends over there. She points to the group of goblins as they loudly wrestle, eat, and play like children, just very violent adults. It would be in their interest to stay far, far away from those gates. Artifacts of great power, they just don't stay in one place, belonging to one person for very long. You understand?
Are you speaking of the great darkness my people once associated with the elf gates? Is that something the Scarlet Triad is interested in?
Look, I wouldn't use that name.
The Scarlet Triad?
Look, and I used to like you. I understand that whatever lore your people had about the elf gates, it was likely wrong. Portals aren't what people say. Anybody who's told you they've activated an elf gate is flat out lying. Those are myths. These things haven't been powered for a very long time, and it's out of your scope. These things were created in a time before, well, truly most history. Before Earthfall, thousands and thousands of years ago, and the inner workings of the Ayadara elf gates are far more advanced and dangerous than any of you anticipate.
Really? Because I anticipated them to be very Dangerous.
Is that why the Cinder Claws attacked the Akushe? That was
Cinder
started.
Claws and the Akuje have been at war for a very long time. It's not a war I get involved with. And it's not a war that likely would end anytime soon.
Yes.
And why is that?
Because the Akuje worship a god named Ketaphis, and the Cinder Claws worship a god named... Why am I telling you this?
It's useful information. I mean, it's kind of weird you're talking about my people, and I'm like right here, but it's cool.
Can I get that religion checky in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Who told you this information, Roz?
I'm a smart lady. Really.
That's debatable, but we'll go with it.
I think she's a vast intellect. Let's not hurt each other's feelings.
I didn't disagree. I simply said it was debatable.
Right. Well, what will it be then?
What do I get anything from it?
Yeah, so based on what your score was, you know Ketaphis. It's kind of like Gosray, but god of the hunt for elves, and you know that she's referring to the dragon god.
Okay.
The name eludes you. You didn't get to that part, but you know that religion is a big part of the war between the Akuje and the Cinder Claws.
Okay. Do I know if he's like good aligned or evil aligned or like
evil? You know the evil dragon. You just can't remember the name that they actually use.
Doesn't respect social distancing.
Some call him the great god of destruction.
I know, right?
Call him.
Coughs on people.
Roz, why on earth would a follower of Norberger care about any of this?
Well, see, I'm merely making a deal. Rune, do you have your staff with you, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Well, you see, the cult, as you know, and quite clever of you to know, as a matter of fact. I'm almost offended. We have motivations, and we seek to conspire. This is just a step along the path. I see something that I want. This is one way of getting it. Shouldn't tell you why, but is that why you know so much about Norgorber? And she'll point to your staff.
I know a lot about a lot of things, not to be too vague. But yes.
What is Norgorber?
Right. Well, I'm surprised your friend never told you. The reason why he's here is because of Norgorber. She'll point to the head of your staff, Moth's skull. A very wicked thing you have there. You know,
being the god of secrets,
right.
Things must be kept.
Of course. Well, Malorunk told me to return before dusk, and I intend to do so. So if you have any other business, I'd like to hear it now. Otherwise, I'm on my way.
All right.
She'll stand up from her chair.
I mean, it's not. I have no possession over the castle whatsoever, though I do appreciate you coming here, Fonz. It was lovely to see you. Really, Rune is, I think, the legal owner of the Citadel.
So, will the
So give a look at Enzokule.
will the
Rune is attempting to remain stoic.
You had mentioned previously that the Cinder Claws hunt all Akushe, and that seemed relevant when he arrived as part of this peace. Will they continue to be hunting Enzokule?
I would love to tell you about geography, history too. Enzokule, what did you say?
Say again?
About Rune, what did you say?
Oh,
the pleasant look on her face expires. She
Are you
looks
okay,
frustrated.
Voz? You seem
angry.
Do you want a drink or something? You look a little parched.
And she's gonna turn to Rune. She says, "What in the 9 hells gives you the right to that damned citadel?
I believe it's a document of some sort.
Birthright? You pretend to be Lamond fucking Breachton to these peasants?"
I mean, I could be. You don't know any different. That's my secret to keep.
Okay, this is getting a little tense here. What's
I
Vaz?
don't know if somebody understands my currency. And she's actually going to get up. And as she's walking to the door, she just looks at Rune for a second. She says, "Secrets." She's going to head out, completely ignoring you, Enzokule.
Oh, okay. See you later, Lady Vaz. Do take care of yourself. Say good evening to Sir Marmalade. I believe that was his name. I'll be here if you need anything.
Director, put that in. Sir Marmalade.
Already there. Already ahead of you.
I am forever addressing that bloke as Sir Marmalade.
Sir Marmalade.
Oh, man.
It's canon.
He's
love
gonna
it.
be so mad.
Oh, that's amazing.
He's going to have a fucking stroke. All right, so...
Oh, that was lovely.
if nobody stops her, she does leave. I'm just making that official.
Yeah.
So, Enzokule?
I don't think we really got anywhere though.
Enzokule?
Yes.
If I may ask in the future, do not let anyone know that I'm the owner of that citadel.
Well, there's no point in a negotiation with a citadel if the owner cannot arbitrate what's going to happen.
I had no intention of arbitrating anything.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I mean, it sounds like they'll have the citadel for a good amount of time. I'm sure we can find a place for the goblins to live in the city. And we just wait it out.
See, Jacob Crow is carrying Shavi.
Did you not notice that she made no guarantee of your safety from the Cinder Claws?
Yes, I mean, it's kind of...
that they have been continuing to hunt down the Yakuje this entire time and will continue to do so. This doesn't like Reika can't even process she's like so upset. This is like she can't finish the sentence.
Oh man.
By this time, I've gone down and I stand next to Reika.
I'm
You
going
two
over.
make it incredibly difficult to protect you.
What? I mean, I'm sure about the age that I am, that many people would like to silence me in some regard. It's
They
just...
won't
All the time.
stop until
All the time.
the entire Yakuje are wiped out, and you're just going to stand aside and let this happen?
Well,
I have a
Rika,
question for you, Enzokule.
there's really nothing I can do about it.
Wait, where are you taking Shavi? Wait, hello.
Yeah, Jacob looks back to you. I was going to tell you before I left. We're heading out, back to Cantaria. It's for her safety.
Oh,
Safe
well, safe
journeys.
travels.
Her parents asked. Bryn is in charge, and Aiden over there, he'll be filling in for me.
Do
But
you need to
he
take?
can be trusted.
Do you want to take spit for extra protection?
That'd be great. It's lonely. I don't think Shavi would want to hear me tell all the
Oh,
same stories again.
The city that he's going to, is that anywhere close to where my employers are?
Don't tell him anything
Cantaria.
about where you're going other than that.
It is right on the way.
Yes, I have a letter for my employers. Could you drop this off? It's concerning the director's current location as well as debt.
How
As
about
well.
no?
Why not? You do know it's my job, right?
You do know that people are actively trying to kill us.
You do realize that
Look.
despite
Look.
these things, society has to
Jacob?
move on.
Yes, Rune.
Could you?
Do you think she'll return?
Maybe I never told you, but Selk is even wiser than she looks. She'll be fine. I think they can heal her.
All right.
She's alive. That's what matters. Want me to tell your parents I said hi?
No.
Okay.
Can you deliver this letter, please? Just
Piss off. I'm not going to Vire.
Yeah.
all right. Fine.
Reika will grab the
I
letter
love you, Jacob,
Yeah.
and I love your
And-
coffee.
and just rip it up.
Ha! Yes, vindication. I love
I
it.
always write things in duplicates. I have
The
several.
director's
versions.
actually going to go up to Shavi and or to Jacob and be like, just one minute.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Yeah.
kind of ruffle through his stuff real
Can
quick
I
and
see your duplicate, Enzokule?
No,
And he's
why?
going
You're
to,
just gonna rip it up.
I would like to see it to examine it
something?
for any legal errors.
Yes.
put it
It's
in
not a legal
one of her
document. It's a
pockets.
letter.
Huh.
Yes, but obviously
Alright.
you need an editor.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
And
No,
he'll
I
head
don't.
out.
I've seen your spelling and grammar.
It's
All right.
perfect.
All right.
It is not.
It is perfect.
No. You more
Enzokule.
often than not use unnecessary Oxford
The
commas.
Jacob's headed out.
No, that is not
Good job,
the case.
Jacob.
Aye.
The letters will stay with me, Reika, because I have a suspicion that you want to toss away the documents that provide my livelihood.
Your livelihood? What about my livelihood? What
Well,
about my
it's-
life?
I didn't tell you to take out debts and not pay them. That's not on me, all right? That's something that fell on you.
But you have all the documents saying that I did, so it is you.
No, I mean, these documents are in the city, and I am just a messenger.
Let's move it again off of me. Let's move this off of me. We got bigger problems here.
Aiden, can I have some coffee, please?
Me as well.
Yeah. Coming right
Aiden,
up.
a spot of tea and some
Sorry.
lemon, maybe a bit
I-
of lavender.
Yeah. And you wanted coffee? Okay, tea.
Yes.
Let's see if I can do this.
Just
And
remember
he's
the
gonna
coffee. Remember
head
the
over-
coffee.
He's scrambling to remember.
Just the
You can tell he
coffee.
has never done this before.
Oh, man.
Master.
I will go if he stumbles too long. I will go around the back and show him.
That would be wonderful.
What?
It's truly an exciting time.
What happened to you? The man that I knew would not have given up the hunt. He would not stand aside while his people were slaughtered wholesale. He would not do any of these things. I am not even a Kuje, and I will fight and die to destroy these things because it is necessary if any future generations are to survive going forward. What is wrong with you?
Look, it's been a very long time since that happened. And
It's still happening.
honestly, Reika, it's happening everywhere.
And you could do something about it
I
right
am-
now,
but-
but instead you're choosing to just waste your time with frivolities.
It's not frivolities to live one's life, to want to escape violence and to not
You're
want to die.
walking into violence. You actively attempted to give your life away in that castle.
No, I wasn't. I was seeking to create a peaceful negotiation.
By handing yourself over full body to those who are looking to destroy you simply for who you are.
Well, I believe that somewhere inside their hearts might be a bit of a glimmer of understanding that we are not that much different.
Ah,
This might be a little optimistic, but and honestly, I just don't want to see violence anymore. It's a dreadful business, and I very much like the business I'm currently in, which is freelancing as well as collecting debts from people who are irresponsible with their finances.
Enzokule.
And you no longer have business with me. And she will get up and leave.
But Reika, I'm still that person. I mean, I might have changed a little bit, but I'm still Enzokule.
The apprentice goblin to Growl before Growl died. His name is Blort, and he'll stand between Reika and Enzokule as Reika walks away and put out his hand, and just shake his head. He doesn't know common, so he'll just shake his head like.
I imagine that the director has slowly been
Okay.
teaching them like 3 or 4 words of common.
guess what 3 or 4 words they are?
Oh no, we all already know. So
Yes.
Enzokule.
Yes, Rune, Sir Rune, Mr. Rune.
Rune is fine. Oh, I'm sorry. You prefer formalities.
Yes, I do.
I don't know where the exit
Ravenswood is my last name.
Oh, well, Mr. Ravenswood, how can I help you?
Throughout the course of whatever we're going to be getting ourselves into, there is going to be an instance where you have full intentions, honorable intentions, and good intentions to find a solution that minimizes bloodshed. And while I commend you for the act of trying to find that thing, there is a good chance that the other side will not walk into that same scenario with the same perspective or desire. And they will seek to do nothing but kill you, me, Reika, and all of us. In those moments, how can I trust you to protect us, to assist us?
Well, I mean, you saw what I can do and how I've tried to do my best to protect you all. It hasn't changed.
I'll be honest. Your actions lately, the only thing I can recall is you attempting to offer tea to creatures that wanted to murder us.
I saved Reika
Now, that is
being dragged into the woods.
What was that?
I saved Reika from being dragged into the woods.
Ah, all right. I did not see that.
Yes. Regardless, I will always try to find the peaceful solution. It's just who I am.
I have no problems trying to find the peaceful solution. None whatsoever, actually. I'd prefer it more often than not. Keeps me from having to use resources that are rather finite. The problem is I assess a situation before walking into it to understand whether it's even plausible to find a peaceful solution.
As do I. I create percentages in my head, and if I feel it's worth rolling the dice, I roll the dice.
Oh, all right.
At that point, Monica comes back out from the kitchen with 2 cups of coffee and heads over to the director and hands him a cup. And she takes the cup.
You're excellent. Thank you.
I will not speak for Reika.
Not as good as Jacob, but close.
Did they forget my tea?
Aiden will. Right.
Yeah, tea's good, sir. Spot of lemon, lavender.
Yes. He'll walk out with a little pitcher.
And maybe if
with
you have some milk
tray.
as well.
Yes. So he's gonna turn around back into the.
10%, please.
God.
Right.
Does that exist?
And then he'll set it down on your table.
And Monica will elbow the director and just and point her chin in his direction.
I know.
All right. Mr. Enzokule or just Enzokule?
I mean, really, it's Detective Enzokule.
All right. Do you prefer Detective Enzokule?
I think that's preferable, yes.
Detective Enzokule. I will not speak for Reika. I am in no place or personal connection to her to do so.
Yes, that poor thing. She had such a difficult life, I'm sure.
Well, we all have our goals and drivers to what we do. Hers clearly is protecting that which she holds dear, which would be you and yours. The fact that you are not expressing the same sort of fervor would be insulting and disparaging.
Well, I really can do nothing about it. I've lived my life and she has lived hers, and I commend her for wanting to save the people that I once was a part of, but I've lived lifetimes, and honestly, it's not something that I hold much connection to anymore. As much as I fondly look back at the times in my village, I've discovered more and more as the years goes on that I much prefer my life to be filled with light conversations, tea, and traveling about. This whole violence thing, it's not something I've ever been good at, and I think people who aren't good at things generally don't enjoy them that much. I'm a detective. That's really it.
And as you sip your tea, you realize it has a foul bitter taste to it.
Oh.
Something's
Aiden,
wrong.
Aiden, I think something's wrong with this tea.
Is there? Okay, well, hear me out. And he's gonna spring out and head over to you, and he will sit with his feet on the bench to the left of you, so he can sit his butt on your well-decorated table.
Not the doilies. Just okay.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Of course.
Just edge it, scoot it.
You're a bit weak, and well, Monica, thought you deserved it. I think you need to suck it up. You could be a lot better than this. I don't know anything about you, truly, but I'm honestly just surprised that someone like you has survived so long.
Well, I think for the most part, people don't want violence, and honestly, it's as long as I wake up in the morning and go to sleep, and I can accept myself, that's really all that matters. I mean,
well, you see,
truly,
I haven't lived a long time. And he puts a hand on his hairless face. But one thing I've learned from my father is violence exists whether or not you contribute to it. Sometimes it only gets worse. There are people worth protecting, and if you don't do it right, they might die.
Look, right here and right now, we have an opportunity to escape any sort of bloodshed by just letting them have the Citadel. As to my people, they've been at war for quite some time. It's what
Citadel?
Yes, the Citadel that you had.
Yeah, so they may just have it for a period of time. Is the effects of their ownership that I'm concerned about. What does it mean? What do they intend to do with it? More importantly, what does Vaz intend to do with it? Who are her employers and why do they want it so bad? What are they attempting to free? Are they attempting to free anything?
Those are the questions. Yeah, those are the questions.
Is the answers to those questions worth our lives?
You seem to
They
be really
might be,
interested in
yes.
Scarlet Triad. That's who she's working for. I would think that you would be on the front of wanting to know more.
Well, I would love to know more, but if a detective risked his life every time he wants answers to questions, he wouldn't really last that long, would he?
Yeah, but if he didn't risk his life, he wouldn't really learn anything.
I've learned quite a lot without risking anything.
I think you should risk a lot in this one. This one feels like the right one to risk it on.
No, I don't think so. I think
Also,
this is,
you're a hypocrite.
Louder.
Step
A little
off
bit
the
louder,
bench.
Monica.
You're a hypocrite.
Okay, there it is.
How so?
Let's see. Big Beastie comes out with a giant axe, says, "We want you," and says it viciously, and is part of the clan that has historically killed your clan and does not look like he wants to talk, and you walk toward him. So you may not know you're risking your life, but your mannerisms and your actions show that you have no regard for it and think everybody's going to be as civilized and arrogant as you are.
No, I wouldn't say it. I calculated that the end of the circumstances would...
You had no idea.
Oh, but I did. It's kind of repetition, right? Patterns exist in our world and they repeat themselves over and over again, and if you can learn to identify them, you can kind of make calculated risks that might seem as if you're putting your life in danger, but is actually just a slight toe in the water.
Okay, and screw the effects on people at large?
What effect that people at large occurred that was so devastating?
You allowed them an opportunity to overtake the Citadel, which has now put dozens of goblins homeless, and they are living off the charity of one of our friends. They had called that place their home. That is some place that they had liberated themselves from, and they fought to protect. And your inconsiderate actions and selfish actions have caused all of them to be displaced from the thing that they took pride in.
That's good. Did you see how many people were there? Goblins would have lost their lives. It's better to live elsewhere than to stand on
You provided that opportunity for the overrun to happen.
Do you see how many people were there? One of us would have died.
We could have collapsed the hallway.
Could we have?
Probably.
Probably. Maybe. More so, I think that someone would have died. I think it's very possible a good amount of goblins would have died. It's not worth it. A home really is wherever you put your bag down, and it can be anywhere.
All right. Arguing all of this is pointless. We're just rehashing old news.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what our problem is currently and what we learned from Voz, if anything.
I think we
agree.
should do it without Enzokule. He clearly seems uninterested in the welfare of us and our friends.
That's not true.
Detective Enzokule may have skill sets that we can leverage, but the choice is his.
I'd like to stay about. See the conclusion of this as far as possible. I mean, if anything, I have to stay about to ensure that the director eventually repays his debts.
Can I offer you an egg?
No, I believe that
Rune, give him the egg.
Wouldn't even cover anything concerning your debts, unfortunately.
I hate you.
Don't worry, I do too.
All right. What did we learn from Voz? Anything?
We learned that her employer is a Scarlet Triad, right?
Is that confirmed?
That's what she did say. My employer. You've heard of the Scarlet Triad? I wrote it down. I wrote down everything. So hopefully. So we know that.
She hasn't provided our names to the Scarlet Triad, but if we do move against the Citadel, our names will be provided, and thus we will become targets.
Mm-hmm. And why could the Cinder Claws need the Citadel? My guess is the Elf Gates, right?
Yes, the Elf
No, they
Gates.
seem to have some connection to it.
Yeah. Oh, that just seems like a big bad of nope.
Yeah, I mean, in my time, it's in my land, there was many Elf Gates spread throughout. It might be a way for them to gain a tactical advantage against my people.
Voz seemed very adamant that whatever you thought you knew was wrong.
Also, she said that they didn't know how to use it yet. Rune, you said you used it, right? That's how you got here, right?
Well, I would say using it in a very loose fashion. The necklace.
Did you have it?
Corvus acquired the necklace for me for a period of time. It was part of the reason I was able to traverse through the tunnels.
Oh. Do you think that's why she was what she was looking for?
She doesn't know about the necklace.
Well, lore, both of the necklaces seem to have led Reika and Monica to Breach Hill itself from across the continent, allegedly. So perhaps that's a thread.
Yes, might be the key.
I have not told anybody that except for Rune. Just saying.
Right.
I think
Regardless,
the
the
necklaces
got here from somewhere.
Yeah, the necklaces must be a key of some sort to the Elf Gate. That's what I theorize.
All I knew is when I arrived to the Elf Gate, I walked through and I wound up at the Citadel.
Tucks the necklace into Majorcan, trying to hide it.
Ian, could you describe the two necklaces again?
Yes. So these two artifacts have drawn a lot of the party together since the very beginning. So Monica, Freerunner, has a pendant that hangs from her neck, and it is shaped sort of like if a yin and yang symbol were also like claws, claw-shaped. Monica's one is shaped, it's green colored, and it's shaped like a hawk's claw. No, it's shaped like a dragon claw, almost.
So it's got knuckles.
Yes, and it also has knuckles. And Reika's claw is shaped like a hawk's talon. They look as if they would fit in one another, and they are drawn to each other sometimes, but the party hasn't tried to put them together.
Huh?
You
I
fear
thought
that
we did.
something.
Good, but they didn't
no,
connect.
we did, and we got repelled. We got
Yeah.
super
Oh,
close,
right.
and then we got repelled by
Yes.
each other.
They haven't touched. That's a
They have
better
touched.
explanation.
Touched.
They
Just
haven't
the-
Could
touched.
you load up the map of the area again?
Right. Yeah. So this is the area. Zoom in towards Breach Hill. And Citadel or Castle Altarian has been a focal point of the campaign so far. The party liberated a group of goblins who were being terrorized by a halfling named Calmont. He took them hostage, killed a few of them, but with your bravery, you managed to eliminate the threat of Calmont at the time, liberate the goblins, and help them sort of reclaim the castle from a wild dungeon to more of like a fortified keep for these outcast goblins. And they've since become drawn to the party, and they follow their every move with a lot of respect. And turns out something magical lies beneath. They're known as Ayudara or Elf Gates. This one particular is known as Alcetta's Ring. And Vaz and the other villains of the story have been centered around this thing, mysteriously trying to activate it and figure out what it does. Something tells you it's been damaged, though. The cultists that are down below, it sounds like they've been stuck because they haven't been able to leave. They've been trapped. If you could get in there, you could figure out why, but so far none of you have seen an elf gate except for Rune. That experience for him was very vague, though, almost dreamlike. It's hard to remember exactly what happened for him.
To look at an elf gate, I do say I would like to one day.
You know, we could get a look, Dumiri says, in the crowd of goblins. She stands tallest among them, a hobgoblin named Dumiri.
How?
You weren't there. I don't think you were.
I don't
Rest
know
of you.
either.
You took the Citadel once. Let's take it again. Stands up.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel taking it's fairly straightforward, oddly enough. I'm more interested in understanding the connection between the pendants, the gate. We know of two gates, basically. Fairly close to each other, oddly enough.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that would help on our trading route, but I'm guessing there's obviously more. Securing one might be able to secure others.
Unless you were smuggling. Not that I know anything about smuggling.
I know a great deal about smuggling.
You would.
So
I'm sure you have all their taxes.
Sitting here isn't going to get us any answers.
No.
We need to talk to Black Tusk. We need to try and figure out how to get back into the Citadel. Hopefully, we're going to be hearing from Calmont sooner versus later.
Do you want me to
Any
stay?
ideas?
Yeah. Do you want me to stay at the place where Calmont, the pickled ear? That was it, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to stay there and wait until he makes his debut again, or?
Not a terrible idea, but I don't want to stick you someplace you don't want to be.
Oh no, I want to be there. There's a lot of drinks and I get them a lot of cheap.
All right. Feel free.
Kind of shoot Enzokule glare and kind of.
Hey, director. Have a good one.
Ah.
By now, Rake has been gone quite a while. Is that
Oh.
cool?
Huh?
You gonna check on her?
Yeah, I'll go try to find her.
Yeah, you head out. She's nowhere to be found. You thought she would probably be waiting outside or something, but she's pretty upset.
Ooh, I'm gonna make this my case. Pull out my notebook.
Where is she? That's what you're trying to find, right?
Yeah. Day something something case 1 million. Let's do this. And I'll just start looking around, looking for clues.
Well, you get the hunch that she was headed out of town. Probably to get some air. Over in the East Gate.
I'll start heading over there.
All right. Well, as you arrive at the East Gate, you see Reika. heading back over the tower. Amira Lang watches the tower. She says, "Hello, dear. Got more tea for me?"
It's I don't know if we're at dear yet. It's kind of a term of endearment.
Oh my god.
The director's something.
I hope she stabs
Please.
him in the throat for that one.
Any case, I'm actually, as much as I'd like a bit of spot of tea, I'm actually looking for my dear friend Reika, who I see right over there, and I'm gonna make my way over there if that's okay with you. Maybe we can meet up again sometime later tonight.
Perhaps not. I'm not feeling well. Suddenly,
Oh, really?
you know, the winds of the weather. I don't know if it was your sense of humor, or maybe I'm catching something. But
No, it's unfortunate. What
better
I like
stay
to
inside.
do before I go to bed is I lift my legs onto the tip of the bed, and it thus allows circulation to come in through your legs. Furthermore, I practice Pilates and a bit of yoga before I go to sleep every night.
Reika, come on in.
Okay.
Aldonis
Join
has
Uh,
a deer carcass on his back,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, that's me. I best keep watch at the tower.
Yeah, of course. And let me know if you have any questions or anything concerning Pilates. It might seem daunting at first, but I assure you, anyone can do it.
What a great big if. Of course. And she'll walk away. Reika, go ahead.
I guess. So first of all, I would ask, does she like hear? Does she
Hear
hear?
Enzo being annoying? Probably.
Yeah.
Usually.
Okay. She's gonna try to go to another gate then.
Oh. She's going around the city to ignore you, Enzo.
I'm
How do you react to that?
Rika,
Yeah,
Rika!
'cause
And I'll
he's
start like chasing
he's
after.
like all the way up there and like probably lost the conversation, so it's just
I'll start chasing after.
Aldonis will look at you and go, "Do you want me to eat him?"
she like is generally considering it.
Rika! Rika!
Because I'll eat him.
He
Rika!
just completely ignores him.
He's got a
Rika!
lot of bones.
Do you see me? I'll come to you.
Nope.
I'll come to you.
Okay.
He's very athletic.
Yeah.
He's a good runner.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he catches up to you each time, and then you keep walking.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rika, slow down. It's, oh man.
She does not.
Hold on. It's, really, I see my asthma's kicking up a little bit. Oh, man.
Asthma.
Rika, I wanted to chat about earlier. And he pulls out
At
a
this, she will stop.
handkerchief and kind of wipes his sweat off his brow. Oh man,
She will stop, but she's not saying anything, nor is she even looking at him.
Reika, I can't help but let the judgmental glare from your eyes, in the way that you saw me at one point and the way you see me now, slightly crack the my facade a little bit. I'm really sorry to have disappointed you. This is your turn now. Did you want to continue walking? Are we going to the other gate?
She'll keep walking.
Great decision.
Yeah. So you have anything to say to me, Reika? I know you are very passionate. I'd love to hear some of that passion. Instead of this awkward silence.
You have said all that I need to hear.
Oh, that seems a little exaggerated. I'm sure we could still be friends. This aspect of me, the person you see before you. You know.
You don't take a hint very well, do you? That's Aldonis.
Oh, well, hello. little whatever you are. Maybe.
Can I eat him now?
Oh, that's quite rude.
No.
Maybe a warg or something. A large puppy, perhaps. Any case,
You will want to kill prey with honor.
say again?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's. Also, it's really not polite to murder someone. It's kind of totally against the society we're trying to cultivate here. Any case, it sounds like you guys had a wonderful time out here in the woods. But Reika, I'm really trying to figure out a way for our relationship to begin anew, because I don't really want you to think of the person I was and be disappointed by the person I am today. That person was a long time ago. A very, very long time ago. For me, it feels like ages, honestly.
She will stop again, and this time she will look at him and like meet his eyes directly. What happened to him?
Oh, well, you know what? I think he just adapted, really. Just so much in this world I want to see and do, and
So you live your life as a coward.
I wouldn't call it cowardly. I would just say I just want to live my life.
At the cost of others' lives as well.
I mean, does the farmer does anyone in the village, are they all cowards just because they just want to live their life?
You nearly got those I've been traveling with killed with your actions.
How?
Because you don't want to go into this. If you can't see it, then there's no point in even discussing it.
Well, I think there is. I think it's very important to talk through your emotions, and it sounds like there's a lot to unpack there.
Reika will turn around and keep walking.
You guys will have reached the eastern gate.
Now, Reika, it's important to talk about
Adonis
your feelings.
will stop in front of him and like create space for Reika.
It's
yeah,
important to
and
talk, Reika.
Boots will land between Enzokule and Reika, plopping down. You see blonde-haired elven man, Wilfred Lavendil, with a wrap around his neck,
Man, I keep
bulging out where his injury was.
seeing all sorts of
A little bit
folks.
blood-soaked, but dry, and he's still grasping it and pained.
Oh,
He points to Enzokule,
Do you want me to look at that?
glares at you, looks back at Reika. Do you want him to leave? He'll open the gate for you, but wait for you to answer.
he's not worth your trouble.
What is
Now
this?
let me look at that wound.
What is this animosity?
She'll try to give him some more healing, help that go faster.
I'm fine. Really. Been treated well, thank you. So, back at Cadence Keg. The director and Rune, you're here. I take it Reika and Enzokule should be heading back about now.
The director
Probably.
was actually heading to the Pickled Ear.
Pickled ear. Wizard's Grace.
Wizard's
the
Grace,
tavern.
yeah.
Because I was
Yep.
going to check on Calmont. That was what I was...
Calmont.
Yeah.
Well, you just see a tunnel. There's no Calmont in sight. Don't know if things are going to plan or not, but it's anxiety inducing. You just see a dark tunnel that you know extends for 6-8 miles.
Can I throw some like lights down there and just make sure the I have my dancing lights. Throw them down there to see how
Yeah.
far. Yeah, I
They
do
go
that.
as far as you can possibly see before they eventually inevitably cut a corner and you can't see them.
Okay.
No way of knowing.
Okay. I'm gonna still have a drink and then head back.
Right. So now that we're all back, it's about afternoon. in the tavern. And you guys realize that the goblins, without really saying much to other people, they've actually they're all now sitting in the middle of the tavern, their legs crossed. Blort is in the middle, reciting some incantation. He's using sweat and some powdery substance to write lines on the hewn stone floor. Bryn is not happy about it. But when the goblins see you, Reika, they urge you to come over.
Okay.
Can I tell kind of what they're doing?
Yeah.
What do I see?
Is a nature check possible?
Yeah, go ahead and make a nature check.
Meanwhile, I just ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
Helba, it's really low nature check. Helba says, I don't really know. Both got ones, sorry.
Oh God,
I have no
really?
idea what this is. Demiri does, though.
Hooray!
She'll step back because she's not part of this, not as a full goblin. Tooth is watching in the corner. He looks pretty amused, actually. Demiri says, let me ask, do any of you chart the moons?
Chart the moons? I mean, I'd had to do it for a class once, but that's really about it.
I understand lighting.
The tides.
Yeah, well, piss on all the mythology about it. Some of it's true. You might not know this about goblins, but the next full moon is particularly important. It's spring now. They call it the blood spring.
Of course they do.
Under a given threat. Have you ever stopped to wonder why goblins have colonized all of Avestan? It's because the worse they get, and the harder it gets to live, the tougher they get. With each blood moon, they spawn into some primal version of themselves. That's why you can't kill off goblins, ever. It's never been done. Because the more desperate it gets, well, look at them. You see some of them are squirming now in agony. Nothing physiological, except you do see their eyes are bloodshot.
Are you
Growl
telling me
is reaching over for Reika.
Are you telling me that in a few nights, the group of goblins that we have brought into this town are going to go raving mad?
Madness is a bit of a loose term. Sometimes it is pure madness. Cannibalism, pillaging. Don't tell anybody that. Sometimes you can control it, though.
I'm more really trying to focus on the concept of what you're informing me. We have brought.
No. Wait.
Can I use religion to see
Yes, you can use religion.
Okay.
I look at her and I go, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And what I'm thinking is on the full moon, with all of our delightfully charged up friends, we try to take the Citadel back.
Demiri, she smiles. It's a clever plan if it works. I've only seen goblins like this a handful of times. They'll bite your damn nose off. You have to be careful.
But
Rune will sort of pull Monica off to the side.
what?
I want to make sure you understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that they are strongest during the full moon. That's what I'm getting, right? That's what I'm interpreting from that. Yes, they have a bit of madness, and we don't want them to destroy this place. We don't want them to destroy this town. Give them a purpose. Direct the madness.
I get that part. The flip side, however, is you are sending these goblins in.
Oh, I'm fully going with them. I'm going with them.
What is?
I'm not saying we
what did my
wouldn't go with
religion
them.
check do?
But there's a chance they will die.
You heard what she just said. They get stronger, hardier.
All right.
I think there is a good chance that if we go the route that you all did when you took the Citadel the first time, I wasn't there, but the director told me about it and it sounded pretty cool. With the element of surprise and perhaps the lack of awareness of the full moon and what its effects are on the goblins, that the Bumblebrashers might be powerful enough to take back what they consider their home.
All right.
Reka, from that check, you know this clock has already started. It's impossible to stop. As far as you can tell, you've never heard of a magic like this that can be stopped. It feels momentous. Blood actually rises, defying gravity, slowly floating up and then disappearing, only to reappear on the ground. The ritual looks really dark, and as the fireplace turns a dark reddish purple, the whole room has a different tone. Brintaith and Aiden are speechless. Reka, you know from your check, they've got 2 days. 2 days of this.
Here's the question I have. Is it possible to augment the, to beseech Gozrie, that's my god, right?
Yes.
To boost this power because the sea is also affected greatly by the moon with
Times.
Exactly.
Right. That's a very interesting question. Perhaps. This is nature magic, which does align with Gosray pretty well. I doubt any of these goblins would ever want to support Gosray, but it might work. If you start to plan a ritual now,
okay,
and you time it for a full moon,
yes,
it might work.
Okay. So Reka will be looking at the crouched on the ground looking at their work and everything, and when it's completed, just
a lot of them are touching their hand to you. Drawn.
Reka, how long do we have?
2 days.
All right.
I believe that Monica's plan can work. I can augment it and make it powerful, but I have to start now.
We also have to figure out a way to aim them to the Citadel to get them there.
Yeah, we have a tunnel.
We do.
It's a straight line. That's all they have to do.
So we have to make sure that the pickled ear is cleared out.
Yes.
So that we can go directly there without anyone getting in the way. We go directly through the tunnel and into the Citadel. Making it so that we get there as close to the full moon as possible. Allowing for your ritual, of course.
It's our best shot.
Yeah, I can assist with clearing the tavern.
Awesome.
I got a great idea.
I will work on directing the goblins once their ritual once they're ready to listen.
We will retake the Citadel by tooth and claw and whatever means necessary, and we'll eradicate all of the Cinder Claws.
I will translate that into Goblin because I can't say it better.
Thundering. Tooth, the half-orc, will actually repeat what you said. He's stood up and spoken for the first time the entire time you've seen him in Breach Hill. He's been so quiet. He'll stand up, get out from a table in the corner, empty his tankard on the floor, and then walk over to the fireplace that's spewing purple fire. Reach up, being one of the only people that are tall enough to do this, he'll take the antlers off, which are disconnected from the skull, stag, and walk over to Reka, place it on her head, and tie it around with a piece of jute. he'll tie it. He'll take another tankard from the empty tankard on the table nearby, walk over to the fireplace and hit it as loud as he possibly can, sending just like a shock wave. Everybody turns their attention to him, and then he repeats what you said. The goblins stand one by one, and then they look back at you guys. Director, Reka, Rune, Enzokule. The people that aren't them.
We stand with you.
Reka will like pound her staff on the ground and just be like, by the light of the blood moon, we will make our strike.
You see the goblins, half of them are drooling thick, viscous saliva. Some of them are actually drooling blood, but never really a mix. The symptoms are not the same for everybody. And one by one, they start to yell at the top of their lungs. You can see the spit just flying as they scream, and as you feel like this place is about to collapse. Suddenly they stop, and they're all standing. Demary pulls her hood down, revealing her bald, heavily scarred face, looks at Tooth and says, "Well, shit. We're doing it. It's like war again. Well, let's plan." And that's where I'm going to end off tonight, guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that
for
was
the,
awesome.
for the
Man.
record, like, I feel like Enzokule totally missed that whole part because he would just be at the wizard. What was it again?
Wizard's Grace.
Oh, yeah.
Grace, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, "Wait, do you hear that?"
yeah, it's like,
When he
"Yes."
comes back, he's like, "But Reka, why do you need this weird army?
God.
It's really necessary."
You are the Banana King. I
my
am the
God.
Banana
Oh, the
King.
Banana King.
Exactly. The Banana King.
Woo.
Oh.
All right. Well, guys, everybody watching, thanks
Yeah.
for tuning in.
Thank you
This
guys.
has been an
Yeah.
absolute ride.
Oh man, this was awesome.
Let's do our outros again. We'll start with Spence because she's in a great mood.
Oh,
You're in
great.
a great mood.
Yes, because goblins are the best. So I am Spence. You can find me on Twitch almost every day. First off, for this channel, if you look above my head, there is a nice little heart button, and there's a bell, and there's a subscribe button. And if you like what we are doing, please feel free to click one or all of them, and it really does help us support the stream. Secondly, I am on Twitch Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for a crochet stream. I've been working on this lovely dice bag the whole game. So please feel free to join me 5 p.m. Eastern. That's twitch.tv/residentmoon. My website is residentmoon.com. I have other podcasts, but all the links are on there.
All right, and Alex.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex. I am GMing tomorrow in my Star Wars game. So if you like Star Wars, you should totally check it out. It's awesome. There's one other player here, Mitchell, who is equally as annoying in my game.
What? Equally
Mitchell,
is
I love you.
awesome.
Mitchell's awesome. But other than that, you can catch me here on every other Monday for our cult game. Lots of players here as well. Yay!
Our entire cast.
Yes, almost
Yeah.
like the entire cast. Yeah.
Everybody who's in cult, raise your hand.
Mr. Smith, raise your hand.
He's not in cult.
He's in cult. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah,
He's
you
the
just-
shadowy figure of
Yeah.
us. Like, of our Anyway,
Good to
I'm
know.
Alex, Sailor Taco Cat. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. I also play in the cult game and whatever other games Mitchell ropes me into. I played Reka, the lizard folk druid raised by a couche. Basically, I run savagesparrow.com. It's an awesome website where you can get super cool, nerdy apparel. I also stream at Savage Sparrow, usually like artwork or random video games or whatever, when I am able to do so.
I will be doing a Kickstarter in a couple of weeks for a super awesome witchy dress. And we'll probably be doing a Twitch stream to launch that, where we'll be doing shots of Malort as tiers are reached.
Oh,
So that will be exciting and terrible, mostly terrible. But yeah, I'll keep up with all the things.
Make it
Hooray.
Everclear and you have a deal.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
you're trying to kill people.
And then
Look
how you
Mr.
die.
Smith.
Hello, I'm Mr. Smith. You can find me here every Sunday. I play Rune Ravenswood, the human wizard, sort of. You can find my musings on cybersecurity, psychology, gaming, scotch at IamMrSmith.com.
And last but not least, Mitchell.
Hello, I am Mitchell. This was a lot of fun. I'm loving Enzokule.
Somebody should.
Somebody should. I love Mitchell. I love your ability to do what you do, because it's a thing.
It's a great
2018.
foil for everybody else.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sure I have a fan somewhere out there. Someone's like, doilies, he knows me.
He knows.
Yes. Any case, if there's a show on here, I'll probably be there or behind the scenes in some sort of fashion, and it's always awesome to do so. So definitely check us out tomorrow with the Star Wars Picades. Yeah.
Please laugh.
Yeah, please laugh. I should get a laugh track. That's what I'm gonna get.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
As Noah, the Star Wars school teacher, continues his adventures throughout the galaxy with much better crew. So yeah, and Alex has been doing a
great.
tremendous job. It is so awesome. Everyone, round of applause for Alex.
That's not even everybody, round of applause for Ian.
Good
Ian.
game, good
This is
game.
Ian's game.
No,
Again.
no, just out. I'm kidding. Ian
Alex.
also amazing
Aw.
job.
Yes.
Should not have.
Aw.
And yeah, that's it for me.
No, and that's it for the show, guys. I have been Ian, the GM. Catch me every other Monday, starting next Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, because Star Wars is tomorrow. Just catch us every Monday and every Sunday. I'm going to be there 3 out of 4 times. I'm loving Colt, but I'm especially absolutely loving this campaign. And we're back next Sunday to pick up where we left off. And also, all you guys are level 4 now, by the way. So I forgot. Yeah. Yes.
At
You
dawn,
just
we
forgot.
plan.
Oh, I forgot.
Can I
Yeah,
stay at level
Thanks.
2 if I want to?
I might move you to level 1, but to tie up that loose end. And that's the show, guys.
All right,
So,
everyone.
8:30 p.m. EST next week.
Bye. Oh, I need this hand in the stream.
Oh, yes.
Bye.